Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome! I'm so excited for this episode. It's the return of Peter, which we all love so much, so I'm so thrilled. I'm so glad you could be here. It's going to be a great episode. We're on the middle of a hype train already. Let's take a look. We are at 33% to level 3. We are doing bingo today. So get your bingo cards ready if that's something you want to do. The first person to win bingo gets a gift sub from myself, which they can either redeem now or later for themselves or someone else. I write your name down. So as long as your username stays the same or you let me know when you change it, we're all good. What else? If we get to level 5 of the hype train, we'll do all the tinfoil stuff. It's good. So how is everyone doing? Let's see what I missed in the chat. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub. Marusama, thanks for 25 months. Says, woo, 25 months. 2 more months and I'll have our 3rd sub baby. Jesus Christ. I can't believe we're already on 3rd sub babies. Creepy Doll in the Wall, thanks for 11 months. Says, woohoo, 11 months. Almost a anniversary. Starry Beauty, thanks for 3 months, says, whoop whoop, here's to 3 months and hopefully many more. I hope so. Moira Soma, thanks for 13 months at tier 2. Starry Beauty, thanks for gifting a sub. Wee Bear 18, thank you for subscribing for 25 months. Creepy Doll in the Wall with 100 bits says, hey Hannah, hey chat, just wanted to share good news. I sold this baby and feel like I'm slowly getting better at making them. Let me take a look. Oh, creepy baby. It's like one of those real dolls, but it's like a zombie real doll or like a creepy's real doll. That's cool. Exo Deadlock with 50 bits says, is Gina getting royalties for her dancing? Of course. Rhetoric says, I don't know how I'm going to enter this one into the log. Oh, I've seen this. It's very cool. Yeah, I saw this yesterday. I don't know if it was the same person, but I also saw someone do one of these for TNG, or maybe it was Deep Space Nine.
Janeway to bridge, report.
Paris broke out of confinement in engineering. He used a phaser on the port plasma conduit. We have power failures all over the ship.
Where is he now?
We're having trouble tracking him. We can't get power to the internal sensors. Tuvok has security teams searching deck by deck.
I'm on my way to the bridge.
Very cool. I really wish they had done a TNG animated series, because I like... The TOS animated series isn't great, though there are some pretty good episodes, actually. I think the episode where Spock goes back in time and meets his younger self is pretty good. So there are some good stuff in there. Grimthorpe, thanks for 2 months. Radiology with 100... Oh, I read that one. Sorry. It's Ceci, thanks for 17 months. Bless you. Mr. Giggles, thanks for 8 months. Briar Rose 1984 says, so excited for more Peter. Aren't we all? Bookworm 12K, thanks for 2 months, says, hey, thanks for cheering me up every time you stream. Well, thanks for watching. Smitty 451, thanks for 10 months, says, our sub baby Stan Under is getting so big. Emmy the Drake, thanks for 7 months, says 7 months, just 2 months till our sub baby. Haven't tuned in yet in June, so happy Pride, Hannah, and chat. Well, thank you very much. Happy Pride to everyone as well. Kirathan says, it's summertime in Florida and my AC is broken. RIP. I'm sorry. We're in Michigan and we have the AC on. It's hot today, which is good because I'm doing tinfoil, and whenever I do tinfoil, I gotta wear the jacket and stuff if we get to level 5. And it gets really hot, but at least we have AC on, so that's good. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. Hydrate. It's time to hydrate, everyone. Creepy Doll on the Wall says, you look so pretty, Dave. Thank you. I've been doing really well in my weight loss lately. I still have, some to go, but I've been doing pretty good. So I've definitely noticed some changes. I don't know how evident it is on stream, because I think a lot of it's more midsection that I've noticed than face, but either way, things have been going well. So, thank you. So, of course, we have Peter today, who's going to talk about why you should smoke dank weed instead of taking medicine. You can do both. Something about William Shatner, Chris. A toilet that they think proves the earth is flat. You know. Same old, same old. Miss K's with 300 bits says, get to level 5 to sweat Hannah out. Choking Ouroboros with gifted sub. Thank you. Sure, Mike Marshall Stack with 100-something bits says, thanks for all Peter. Thanks for all the Peter, and you look fantastic. Oh, thank you. Radiology with 50 bits and a link. Ooh. I like that noise. It's pretty good. Is this like a chicken cordon bleu thing? Is it just ham, no chicken? Oh, no. Fried cheese and ham. Millefeuille, oh, something I can't pronounce. That looks good. This doesn't count for the bingo, by the way, because someone sent it to me. It's like a fancy Hot Pocket, true. What's my workout routine? Just twice a week, I walk for like 20 or 30 minutes. Mostly it's just been restricting calories and making sure I'm not overeating. A big thing with my weight gain over the years was when I used to drink a lot because of my alcoholism. And I haven't drank for like a year, so that helped a lot. But on top of that, I have a real big sweet tooth, so as long as I, keep the desserts and stuff moderated, and I keep track of my calories, it helps a lot. Bittergrin, thanks for 100 bits. Grimthorpe, thanks for gifting a sub. 41% to level 5, we're very close. Speedo Spank says, have some dang bits, well thank you very much. Your weight gain is 95% pasta. In fairness, pasta's delicious. Why do carbs taste so good if they kill us? Checkmate, Darwin. Do 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 do. Ba-na-ba-na-na-na. Oh, I finally got to my 1000th movie today in my collection. My 1000th title. Very exciting. I got a few things, but one of them was Morbius in 4K, so. The others were good movies, though. Escape from New York. I gotta see what else. It is Morbin time. The cover morbs. I showed it in on Twitter. The cover is one of those lithographic covers, and he morbs. My collection. Recent. I know you can sort by recent, I think. So let's see, Escape from New York, The Suicide Squad, Morbius, and Candyman. I also added Pioneers of African American Cinema and Pioneers for Women Filmmakers, which are pretty interesting collections that Kino Lorber is a distributor, I shouldn't even say distributor, they do distribute, but they're a Blu-ray company that does a lot of historical preservation, and this they did in conjunction with the Library of Congress, and it's a lot of really early women filmmaker films, and the other one, which is, of course, African-American filmmakers. Really good stuff. Well, I Am Not Okay has been enjoying some schadenfreude at the Crypto Bros nonsense. I know, it's been great. We gotta do another crypto cringe stream soon, since everything's crashing. Bookworm, 12K, thanks for gifting a sub. Yeah, Bitcoin's gone down a lot, and I know Ethereum did too. Let's see. Year to date, it's down 54%, so it's lost over half of its value in the last year. Well, actually, since the beginning of this year, I think, right? Yeah. In the last 6 months, 14 days, it's lost 54% of its value. That's not good. And in the last, month, it's been a lot of it. It's crashing so hard. It lost 28% just in the last month, and most of that was concentrated in, the last week. You picked up some of the Kino stuff. You picked up Black Moon Rising, The Raven, Runaway Train recently. The Bedroom Window is coming soon. Nice. Woo! Thanks for the hype, everyone. Did we get to level 5? I think we only got to level 4. The thing says level 4. It was close, but I guess that means I'm gonna wear everything but the vest. Since we lose one thing because we didn't get to level 5. I'm gonna lose the vest, that way or the jacket, that way I don't die. But I'll put on the other stuff. Because we got to level 4. Where did I put the gloves? Thank you. Wonder if it'll recover. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. I would consider probably, and I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong on this, but I'm kind of concerned that crypto is basically going to become like a long-term MLM type scheme where every once in a while it'll go up and down and up and down. Like, either way, I don't know if it'll always never exist. Like Cutco and different MLM companies, people know are scams by and large, but people still get into them. I'm wondering if crypto will be similar. It'll just be a much smaller scale scam. Hydrate. Hopefully most institutional money will be out of the Bitcoin market, though. All right, let's get into it. That's not a song. I could write a song. Probably wouldn't be a good song. Tether was shown to have not been backed and people still put money into it. That's true. Luna popped at least. And I think Celsius is going down. I'm not sure though. Anyway. Let's get into the conspiracies. What are we going to do first? We can start with CC. We like CC. We cover him regularly. Let's see what CC's been up to, shall we? He's still angry about the fact that the Earth isn't flat.
Hold on. Turn this off. Okay, so the lottery's up to a big number now. I was just in the... Well, we're having a pizza war this evening. Okay? All right. So my significant other is, of course, going to get that flatbread shit from the supermarket, and I'm going to make my own dough. And I'm going to make a pizza from scratch. So we're going to see who wins the pizza war.
This is the opposite of Chris implies his wife hates him. This is actually like a cute couple thing. Oh, we're going to make pizzas and see whose pizza's better. So there we go. For once, we don't have to feel sorry for Chris and his wife. It sounds like a normal, cute thing. Azure Stone Dog, thanks for gifting a sub. And Nick with 45 bits says, the lottery preemptively marketing numerology on my bingo card. Actually, no. I've seen this video. Not numerology.
So, anyway.
Filming in car, though. Yes. Exo Deadlock says, CC makes pizza, but he doesn't believe in dough balls.
I was sitting in...
That's why he likes pizza. Nice and flat.
Well, not sitting. I'm standing there waiting to get my Logic stuff. E-Logic, whatever. Logic Pro stuff, you know, that I juice, whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's not healthy for you. Oh, well then... Milk isn't healthy for you. Orange juice isn't healthy for you. Water isn't healthy for you. What the fuck is healthy for you?
He got mad immediately over nothing, but I do think water is healthy for you. Like anything, you can die if you take too much, because you can desalinate your body, basically, and you can die of overdosing on water. But no, by and large, water is good for you. And again, orange juice, probably fine in moderation like all things, but, you know, depending on the orange juice, there's probably a lot of excess sugar in it, and even just orange juice that's just squeezed, you know. Fruit has sugars, so it just depends, Chris. All nuance just makes him angry. It's weird. Overthought says, it's cute until you realize that she gets her own pizza because CC refuses to ever compromise. Excessive Observer, thanks for 25 months. And Purple Nickel, thanks for 19 months.
You tell me! As you can see, I'm a little pissed. So this guy, he's fine. Whatever. Italian guy, he's just coming in playing his stupid regular lottery and all that other bullshit. And I told him My lucky numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are my lucky numbers. And then there was a moment of awakening almost for this guy. It's like, well, that's impossible. Why would you ever bet on that? Those numbers will never come to truth. And he's absolutely right. They never will.
I mean, I wouldn't say they never will. The likelihood of any given combination of numbers is equally distributed given a truly random lottery, so it's just as likely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will come up as any other combination of 5 numbers. It's just that we give personal significance to that sequence of numbers because it goes in order, because we defined numbers. But it's no more or less likely than any other number. Radiology says, a beautiful flat and round pizza is flat and round as the earth God made. The sauce is the lava and the cheese is the something congruent to this metaphor. Hey, it's late over here. I'm not at my best. I forgive you. Morak says, well, that was a nightmare. For some reason, my card is flagged Twitch as fraudulent and my PayPal doesn't want to work. So I had to set up Google Pay to get these bits. Google Pay is using my card. But anyway, cheese.
I'm leaving a brick.
None of these count, by the way. These are all people having me say cheese because of the bits. Doesn't count for the bingo card.
Cheese in a jar of vinegar for a month, or until something interesting happens. Pickling salt for flavor. Not a lot of room for the salt. It's like a cheese snow globe. And now we wait. Well, it's been a month and it looks exactly the same? I don't know if we can get that out. Oh, we can. Mr. Miyagi over here, let's go. Oh no! Oh god, the cheese smell! Ah! Oh my god, I capped that puppy back up! Ugh. No! I'm leaving a brick of cheese in a jar of vinegar for a month. Or until something
Well, that was awful.
And that's the whole bullshit of a lottery. So wake the fuck up and understand what you're playing. You're being double taxed. You're already paying taxes at this point. You yourself, by playing the fucking bullshit lottery.
I would understand if you were kind of frustrated with the concept of gambling addiction, or people who don't understand statistics to the level that they're buying, lottery tickets, at a level that it's actually costing them a lot of money regularly, or even a moderate amount of money regularly. In my life, I don't know how many lottery tickets I've bought. Not a ton. There was a period, especially when I was really poor, and this is the insidious thing I think about lottery tickets, is that they prey upon the desperate. I know this isn't a hot take. I'm just, reiterating what we already know. When you're really desperate, that's the time when you're going to take big risks, like the lottery, which, of course, statistically, it's not like it's an investment. It's just money you're throwing away. You're not going to win. But when you're really desperate, like when I worked at a fast food place and I was really poor, this is before I started the internet stuff years ago, you buy into lottery tickets. I did it more regularly back then. Now, even then, bear in mind, I knew I wasn't going to win. It was more just like, today I bought a lottery ticket. I get to, today, have daydreams about what if I won? How would my life change? It's kind of sad. But anyway, still, lottery tickets could be a fun form of, collective, social daydreaming, for lack of a better word. The news is like, the Powerball's up to $1 billion, and everyone in the office or whatever talks about, what would you do if you won? Is it stupid and predatory? Yes, but it's not what Chris is making it out to be, which is, apparently he thinks the lottery is just fake. He thinks it's fake, he thinks it's not a real thing, he doesn't think anyone wins. They do. They win a lot.
That you have no chance.
Vinny Sathoff, thanks for 9 months. That's a sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Archibald Gregorio Chandler. DM Traces, I'm worried that the whole pizza thing he said is about the vax's and immune system. His wife is paying for a crappy one and he's making one from scratch, but I don't know. I think you're reading in too deep. I think he's making pizza.
Of winning dick. Oh yeah, they'll give you 2,000 here, they'll give you 1,500 there, they'll give you 500 there, but then you're going to put it back into it. You're not going to save anything up. You're not going to save for your future.
One time I won $400 on a scratch-off ticket. That's the most I've ever won.
It's all bullshit. And that's why those numbers will never, ever, ever.
I wonder if that's ever happened. Has the number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 won the lottery? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Winning lottery. Have consecutive numbers ever been drawn on a lottery? On May 4th, on the 4th of May 2016, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 20 and 21 were drawn on the UK National Lottery. That's the closest it's ever gotten to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so not quite.
Ever in a million dreams, like we will never go to another planet. We will never.
We've had, like, rovers on other planets. We've had people on our moon.
Land on the moon. We will never go fucking anywhere. The day we land on the moon is the day the lottery wins at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the day we're going to land on the moon, which is never, ever. It's never going to happen. Thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos and let me be a part of your life.
Oh, boy. So, Chris is just making up shit to be mad about now. Creepy doll on the wall with 50 bits says he's mad at the lottery now. I hope his cholesterol is okay, because wow. Yeah, no kidding. What did we get on the bingo card? I think we just had filming in car. I think that's it, right? Oops. No, that's the right button. Okay, I guess it's probably time for Peter. So it's been a while since we covered Peter at length. For those who are maybe watching this later on YouTube, sorry, by the way, for all the time I didn't put clips on YouTube. I'm back at it now, luckily, so that's good. While you were gone, or rather, while I was gone from YouTube, if you missed it, Peter has stopped making Q-related videos, which is good for Peter. Peter has decided, instead of covering politics, at least explicitly, he is going to cover medical issues. And what that basically means for Peter is that Peter is going to tell people to smoke weed every day and not take medicine. So let's take a look at what Dr. Peter has to say.
To set up the
Oh, he's going to make a lot of false medical claims here. I do not endorse them. What he is saying is false. This is for commentary and educational purposes.
goals for the next
Jade Raguba with 100 bits says, I wonder if CC thinks planes are figments of our imagination.
5 years, and one of them was by 2023 we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%.
This has always been misinterpreted by conspiracy theories, and this is something that has been said because what they're talking about is the fact that once you introduce vaccines into a given population, a developing country, the birth rate goes down because as the infant mortality rate goes down, so does the need to have many, many children. You also start giving education and materials for, like, contraceptives, making contraceptives available to people. You can do a lot of change that will decrease the overall population, or at least decrease population growth, specifically due to factors that we saw happen here in the United States and in other countries as they developed. This isn't some mysterious, threatening thing. They're not killing anyone. People are just procreating less as a country gets more developed and access to medicine. This is not crazy. This is not out there. This is just demonstrably factual.
I think today this dream is becoming reality.
They want more souls. I want less on the planet. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines...
The fun thing about facts is that if you have them on your side, you don't need to put sinister music over them to try and make your point for you, just to be clear.
We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
How can you explain a 50% rise in all-cause mortality after the vaccines and boosters rolled out? They're basically suppressing the data showing the vaccines are killing massive numbers of people.
Untrue. Patently untrue. Every piece of research we have shows the vaccines are not only safe but effective against coronavirus. Please get vaccinated.
The people who have taken it are going to die in the next 6 months to 3 to 5 years. Millions have died.
Oh, this was actually a funny clip. I looked this particular clip up. This gentleman, I forget specifically what he said his name was, but at the beginning of the clip, he introduces himself and he says something along the lines of, hi, I'm such and such, I did this research at this university, and then he makes a bunch of bullshit claims about vaccines. People then went and tried to look for this guy and also called the university that he purported to work at. Surprise! They have no record of him existing. So, this is just some random jackass that decided to lie about credentials so he could get a viral clip out to anti-vaxxers. Discordant Vol says the Thomas Malthus Economic Forum. Just stop fucking.
Died from the jabs.
It's clearly a widespread failure of our immune system.
That's a clip from the X-Files.
Gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine. The ultimate weapon. The ability to depopulate the planet. To kill everyone but the chosen. By tampering with their DNA.
The jabs create spike proteins, and they create it by snapping your RNA in half. You are no longer a human anymore.
Yeah, that's not how that works. That's not how we define humans. What are you talking about?
You're something else.
I can prove that the elite are killing billions of people right now as we speak.
You gotta turn the music down when you start talking, Peter.
And that I predicted this over 10 years ago. And I can counter this attack. And when we counter it, we will create a paradise on Earth. And that's why I'm happy about this situation, even though it's equivalent of a comet hitting planet Earth. We will save humanity. We will create a paradise on Earth, and we will defeat these elite. My name is Peter the Healer, and they say...
Forgot he decided to call himself something different. It's no longer Peter's political perspective. He's Peter the Healer.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So let me dive right into the evidence. Here we go.
To set up the goals for the next 5 years, and one of them was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today, this dream is becoming reality.
Would you?
Jade Raguba with 100 bits says, very grateful for being up to date on my COVID vaccine as I currently have COVID for the first time. It's pretty mild compared to the early horror stories I've heard prior to the vaccine being available. Good, I'm glad you got vaccinated.
Just saw is the CEO of Pfizer talking about killing billions of people.
He did not talk about killing people, Peter. You fucking idiot. This is what... One second. So... I'm trying to imagine the worldview that Peter has, that there is a shadowy, secret cabal of some sort that is controlling everything, that is killing people with medicine, but then they also just get on camera publicly and say this? And he thinks he's the only one, him and a bunch of other anti-vaxxer conspiracy theorists, he thinks that they are the only ones who've noticed the people on camera expressly saying they're going to kill billions of people. Like, it's such a fundamental misunderstanding of how everything works. It makes me concerned that Peter has, like, a brain tumor. It's very strange.
He says...
Peter, they're talking about, again, lower birth rates, not killing people. No one's killing anyone in this scenario.
His dream, his plan with him and his buddies is to kill billions of people by next year. This is wild, the fact that he would say this publicly. And there's more.
Wow, wouldn't it make a lot more sense if you were misinterpreting what he said?
2 more videos of people admitting that they want to kill a lot of people. Check this out.
They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
What you just saw is someone from the World Economic Forum who is outspokenly calling for murdering billions.
No, Peter, how do you not understand how this works? If you reduce population growth, if you reduce the birth rate in general, then the population declines. No one has to be killed. That's just how life works because people die of old age eventually.
Of people and laughing about it. This is how the elite are. This is their game. They think that they're heroes saving humanity, and in some evil way, but in a good way, somehow they're gonna kill billions of people. But
the irony, of course, being that Peter's QAnon content involved him thinking Trump is working with aliens in order to kill all deep state members, which according to his own conspiracies would amount to hundreds of millions, if not billions of people. So, projection a bit.
But that kind of makes them a good guy, but really they know they're bad guys. These are twisted people, but they're...
Discordant Vol with 100 bits says, a lot of conspiracy theorists think that the elites are rubbing our faces in it. It's got roots in Nazi propaganda. A lot of things do.
They're laughing about it. They think it's funny. Killing billions of people, that's funny. One more clip.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
So,
again, he's talking about vaccines because when you introduce vaccines to a population, birth rates go down, Peter. This has been talked about time and time again. You could literally Google Bill Gates vaccines, and this would probably come up as a fact check because this bullshit that you are spewing has been fact checked time and time again. Peter gets off the Q. I think he's probably still into the QAnon stuff. He just doesn't want to make videos about it because I savagely make fun of him for it and, like, debunk every point he's ever made. I'm not going to do anything different here, Peter. You're still wrong. All you do is jump from one conspiracy theory to the next. You are gullible, Peter. Please stop.
What you just saw is Bill Gates admitting that the population of the world is a huge problem and that we need to reduce it. And with vaccines, we can reduce the population. Wow. It gets crazier. Here we go down the rabbit hole. So here's the evidence that these vaccines are going to kill billions of people. Now take into account, it takes time for the full effect of the damage of the vaccines to kill people. And it...
Let's see, I've been vaccinated for at least a year now, Peter. I've been twice vaccinated and boosted, and nothing bad happened. It feels like you're probably moving the goalposts, because you used to say it was going to happen way sooner. So I'm going to say moves goalposts on the bingo card.
It's predicted, according to the experts, between 6 to 5 years will be...
Ooh, 6 to 5 now. And who are these experts, Peter? According to experts that I read on Telegram.
The full effect of the vaccine damage, and that's when we'll...
Peter, like, the active stuff in the vaccines doesn't last that long. It does not. That's not how it works. The vaccine, the mRNA vaccines, like, get into your system, tell your body to start producing spike proteins so your body and your immune system, rather, can, like, learn to fight it, and then it stops, and then it's done, and then it's gone, and then it's just gone. There's nothing in my system anymore, Peter. There's nothing in my system that has anything to do with the vaccine other than the fact that my antibodies know how to fight COVID better. That's it.
We'll see billions of people dying. So it's not going to be immediate. If it was immediate, then everyone would panic and stop taking the vaccines. The plan wouldn't work. So the vaccines have to kill people relatively slowly. So let me show you the evidence. What I'm about to show you is
Today I got to the 1000th Blu-ray in my collection. So if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I've achieved my life's purpose. Anadon Earhart, thanks for 17 months, says Telegram for all your furry and Q messaging needs.
Medicare data proving, and this is the most reliable data in the world, proving that the amount of people dying in the United States of all causes has gone up by 50% already. Check it out.
How can you explain a 50% rise in all-cause mortality after the vaccines and boosters?
When is this 50% rise from? Is it from during lockdowns and stuff? Because people not being out on the road as much, people not being out doing whatever, you're going to have fewer deaths. You're going to have fewer road-related deaths. You're going to have fewer drunk driving deaths. You're going to have all sorts of accident deaths that were unaccounted for, or rather didn't happen as much because people were inside. So if you're charting this from like 2020 to now, that would be why it's higher after the vaccine, because people are out and about again.
Rolled out. They're basically...
Who would I bequeath them to? Baja?
Suppressing the data showing...
If I was old and I needed to bequeath them like to someone else, if a library existed that had movies still, I'd probably give it to a library. Or... I don't know. I have a lot of films that I think are, I don't know. It would have to be somewhere where I knew they'd be preserved, because it's a lot of movies, and they're in really good shape, and there's some rare-ish ones in there, so.
The vaccines are killing massive...
They're not. There's no evidence of that. This guy's lying, or he's an idiot.
Numbers of people.
So there's two more sources who are...
Red Letter Media, if I'm dead, then Rich Evans has been dead for 30 years. There's no way I don't outlive Rich Evans.
Corroborating what the Medicare data is saying. Now, this source is the CEO of an insurance company who says that there's been...
I'm surprised Mike isn't dead yesterday. Have you seen how much that man drinks in those videos?
A 40% spike in deaths, which is something they've never, ever seen before in the lifetime of the business. And here's the headline, and this was in February. And so the latest data, which is from Medicare, that's saying 50%. So as I predicted, and a lot of people predicted, it's going to go higher and higher, 50, then 80, then 100, and I think by next year we'll be hitting 1,000% increase in deaths of...
Okay, he just planted a flag, everyone. I can't wait till next year when he has to move those goalposts again.
All causes.
Stonecolor Bell, thanks for 24 months. Happy second anniversary.
But it's really caused by the vaccines, obviously, because they kill people in several ways. And on top of that, you also have more evidence. The CDC's own data, and see, you can see the headline here, and you can also see the graphs here. Their own data is showing spikes in deaths after the COVID shots, which is crazy. So you have...
He's just repeating himself, so same thing I said earlier. I would imagine it's because people are out and about more car accidents. Younger people are able to party more, so probably more drinking deaths. Society's getting worse in general and people are depressed, so probably a rise in suicides.
You have insurance companies, you have the Medicare data, and you have the CDC data, all aligned, all saying the same thing. There's been unprecedented, huge spikes in deaths after these COVID shots and jabs. And this is just the beginning. In the beginning, they want the damage from the vaccines to be a little bit less. And they want it to be...
Mass shootings, that's true. There have been a lot of mass shootings. That, I imagine, would only account for a blip, though. Is like as big as of a tragedies as though are, compared to, like, car accident deaths, there's a lot more car accident deaths. I'm not saying car accident deaths are a bigger problem, because context exists, but, I would imagine suicides and car accidents and stuff like that account for a lot more than shootings.
Be more later on, after maybe a year or two, after everyone's fully boosted and fully vaxxed. So by the time that crazy deaths are happening and they can't hide it anymore, it's too late. Everyone's jabbed. All these people are jabbed. They're all vaxxed. And then it's too late. So it's a slow death, but it's going to continue climbing. So this has never happened before in history. This is wild. And so the mainstream media, they're doing fake news pushing all these.
To be clear, if the only people left on Earth were going to be anti-vaxxers, then I'd rather be dead. So I appreciate, the forethought, Pfizer.
Articles to try to hide it, right? So they're saying like, oh, blood clots, that's happening from periods, and all these heart attacks, that's totally normal. What was it, like 20-something athletes have been dying from the COVID shots from a heart attack?
That's definitely not true.
So far?
I'm not even a sports person, and I can tell you that.
And then, so they're trying to hide it and make up all these stories. One of them is it created a new syndrome called sudden adult death syndrome, called SADS.
SADS!
And they're saying, oh, we don't know why these people are dying. Yeah, there's a new syndrome. It's mysterious, and people are dying, but we don't know why they're dying. Guess what SADS sounds similar to? SIDS. What's
when you're posting Candace Owens things and showing Daily Mail articles, I don't think the evidence is on your side, Peter. Proof or shut the fuck up, Peter? That'd be great.
Sudden infant death syndrome, also caused by vaccines at birth. Oh, we don't know why these children we just pumped with 10 vaccines within the first 2 months, we don't know why they're dying, because they were just murdered by vaccines.
No, there's no evidence that SIDS is caused by any sort of vaccine or, post-birth care. There's no evidence of that.
And now they have the same thing, SADS, but for adults, people who were pumped with death jabs. So this is crazy that not only did these really, really evil people admit that this is their goal.
I don't know. Does Peter know that, unvaccinated babies die of SIDS?
Oh, they want to kill people. They want to depopulate people. They're going to do it with vaccines. And then you have all the evidence saying that it's happening. The mainstream media is trying to hide it a little bit. And so this is crazy what's happening.
Discordant Vol says, I read a study about SIDS. If I remember correctly, it was caused by insensitivity to choline. I have no idea.
But don't worry. I have a plan, and together we're going to...
Baja says the insensitivity to choline was seen as a marker in that study for kids who are likely to have SIDS, but not the cause.
We're going to save humanity. We're going to...
Baja Blast in the bingo card.
Save billions of lives. So here I'm going to show you that I wrote a book, started writing about over 10 years ago, predicting that the cabal was going to try to depopulate the planet by 95%. That was their goal, and they're going to do it with some form of biological attack, not with like guns or nuclear weapons. And so, as you can see here, this is a paragraph taken out of my book Cannabis, Paradise, which...
Of the people on the planet are murdered from technology designed to depopulate the Earth. The people who want to reduce Earth's population by 95% are not going to use nuclear weapons to accomplish that goal. They did that, then they would end up destroying too many resources. Villains want those resources, so they're not going to destroy people in that way. What worries us is we believe that these... villains are going to use some type of biological weapon to kill most of the people on the planet. That way, the destruction from the global weapon will only destroy the resources and then presumably it goes on. Here's the problem, Peter. You seem to recognize that people that you consider evil in this hypothetical, the cabal or whatever, would not want to destroy resources, presumably because you recognize the illogic of a plan in which you severely reduce your own quality of life, right? So sure, even if you were like your mind's evil version of Bill Gates who wants to murder a bunch of the planet for nefarious reasons to be king or whatever. Here's the thing. Labor is a resource, so if you killed 95% of the Earth, nothing would work anymore because you wouldn't have a labor force. Even if you had resources, who's going to mine the resources? Who's going to take those resources and refine them into materials? Who's going to take those materials and turn them into goods? Who's going to use those goods to provide services? Being the king of the castle doesn't really benefit you if the castle is empty and bereft of labor. Like, how would that work, Peter? If society collapses, rich people are also screwed.
Which was designed to predict what was going to happen around this period of time. And I actually predicted that around this time they were going to attempt to kill billions of people. And so I predicted it would be a biological attack. I predicted it would happen around this time. And I'm not the only person. Many people did. I didn't make this information up. I got it from reliable sources, and I predicted this. And
Reliables. I like that Peter used to say what his sources were in his videos, but as I and some other people debunked his videos and looked into the sources he was using, I think he stopped saying what his sources are specifically, so I can't go, let me look that up, and, you know, in real time fact check him. It's even easier now, though, because all I have to say is, Peter, you haven't provided a source. You can't just say, experts say, because that's not a citation? That's not a citation, Peter. That's not how this works.
I knew, even though my book didn't sell a lot, I would be able to prove...
I'll buy your book, Peter, if you sign it for me.
...that 10 years ago, this book was published in 2015, which was 7 years ago, but I started writing it 3 or 4 years before it was published.
He has multiple books, I think.
I was trying to warn people that they're going to use a biological...
The villains have been depopulating the planet slowly. The villains actually are planning on killing billions of people. In fact, they're planning on reducing the population by 95%. They can't kill all of the people all at once because they need people to build the things that are going to be used for the New World Order, Charlie said. First of all, terrible writing. Second of all, he seems to understand the labor issue, but doesn't understand the orders of magnitude off he is on the numbers of people that are necessary to keep the current standard of living for people. We live in a globalized society where we have a global, like, supply chain. If you killed 95% of the Earth, that wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work, Peter. You would not have labor because you would have labor, but you wouldn't have current society and you wouldn't have the standards of living we currently have because those standards of living are off the backs of billions of people working together through, like, networks of trade and labor.
Attack to kill billions of people. I wrote in this book. If you pause this video and read, I wrote it in my book.
I wrote it in my book. I said bad guys would do bad things, and now it's happening in real life. I'm Nostradamus. Rageology says that Charlie being quoted is actually Charlie the Unicorn. True.
They were going to kill billions of people, see? It was going to be a biological attack.
By the way, if you're writing a story and you find yourself calling the antagonists the, quote, bad guys, read more books and then restart the book you're currently writing.
And they weren't going to use nuclear weapons, they weren't going to use guns, because they want our resources. Don't think they don't want us humans. So here's the evidence I predicted it. I already showed you the evidence that they're talking about it.
MH Darkbeast with 50-bit says, wait, is Peter back? Howdy, Hannah. How does it feel to have Morbius as number 1000? Not exactly something to celebrate as such a milestone. You know what? I'm excited. I also got Escape from New York and The Suicide Squad along with it, the James Gunn one. So, not a complete loss.
I showed the evidence that it's happening. Crazy. So X-Files went up to me. X-Files not only predicted that they were going to use this old...
X-Files is a fictional TV show. Cites fiction as fact on the bingo card. Tucker White says, but Hannah, reading more books requires people to read a book. True.
Ultimate weapon to depopulate.
And that's why this episode is sponsored by Audible. It's not. I kind of wish it was, though. I actually like Audible. Should I get Audible as a sponsor? They're not too bad. Are they evil? Should I get sponsored by Audible?
People for the New World Order plan, but they predicted it would be done by editing our DNA with vaccines. Crazy! Check out these clips.
That's not even a new conspiracy theory, Peter. That's like an old conspiracy theory that predates mRNA vaccines being part of the public consciousness.
It's clearly a widespread failure of our immune systems.
Audible is Amazon. I hate to break it to you, but Amazon owns Twitch, which is the platform we're currently on. So, I'm already affiliated with Amazon.
Gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine. The ultimate weapon. The ability to depopulate the planet. To kill everyone but the chosen. By tampering with their DNA.
So I left the best piece of evidence for last. Here is someone with extremely good credentials who has bravely spoke up and informed people that the COVID shots are designed to kill
Jillyfish, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub.
People in 3 different ways, and that millions have already died. And he also mentioned at the end that RNA was manipulated through the vaccines to kill these people.
That's not even old X-Files. No, that's from the reboot.
So basically, a mountain more evidence I'm adding to the evidence I already showed you that this is happening. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my hope, my plan, a gist of it, of how we're going to save people. But check...
Weed. It's weed.
Check out this clip. It's very...
Jubinator, thanks for 14 months, says subhydrate. Sure.
Scary.
My name's Dr. Sean Brooks, PhD.
Again, people couldn't find him. At least not at the university he claimed to be from.
Oxford. I have 48 publications, including 23 books. I've studied health, medicine, anatomy, and physiology.
I think he chose Oxford specifically because it's like one of the 5 colleges people recognize as prestigious. Puka the Duca says, I don't know the X-Files was a documentary, and Nick says, Sean Brooks, pretty high, dude.
For approximately...
Okay, I'm gonna skip through this guy's shit because he just says the same stuff you've heard from anti-vaxxers before. Makes false claims about it changing your DNA and making you not humans, etc., etc. Bullshit. Okay. So what's your solution, Peter? Yep. Correct. Baha just said he claims to be a PhD but doesn't know the difference between RNA and DNA. Yeah, he's lying.
Like snapping your RNA in half. You are no longer a human anymore. You are something else.
Even though Google, which is, I'm not sure, a trustworthy source, claims that 4.7 billion people are fully vaxxed and boosted, 5.1 billion have gotten at least 1 shot, even though this seems to be pointing in the direction of most of the planet is going to die from these vaccines. I'm hoping...
Is that what it points to, Peter?
When I'm excited. Let me explain why. The 3 ways these vaccines kill people. Destroying your immune system. Cannabis boosts your immune system.
No, it doesn't. Again, I've had this discussion before about conspiracy theorists. Hey, if you like weed, that's awesome. You know, weed in moderation, like lots of things, is a fun thing. I'm happy for you. If it helps you relax, have a good time. If it helps with chronic pain or whatever you're dealing with, great. Do it. As long as you are an adult, as long as it's legal, then do it. I don't care. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. It is not medicine in the traditional sense. There's no evidence it boosts your immune system. It doesn't like cure your cancer or whatever. I don't know why people are like this. You can like weed and also recognize it's just a drug. It's a drug. It's a drug that's mostly for recreational use. There are other uses if you're suffering from, like, severe anxiety, PTSD. I think it's helped some people with seizures, some people with, like, other neurological things, or side effects of things. Like, I know people who are undergoing chemo have done weed in order to help stimulate appetite or to help with pain or whatever. That's great. That's awesome. And I'm glad that's available for people as an option. And I want that to be available for people as an option. But going out and making false claims about, like, curative abilities of something like THC is so patently irresponsible. Peter should be honestly put in jail. If Peter's gonna be making videos like this where he's going to make baseless medical claims, he should be put in jail for that. That's illegal. That's not fucking cool. That's basically pretending to be a doctor, and that's not okay. Nick says he's trying to use the university credentials to win over the crowd who thinks university is a communist Marxist institution. Galaxy brain move. No, because see, conspiracy theorists like credentials when they parrot the conspiracy talking points. Because then they can say, see, look, this person went to college, and they believe crazy shit. KBS says THC definitely boosts appetite and suppresses nausea. Beyond that, it has no proven effects. Yep.
Producing a cytokine storm.
Kino put out Reefer Madness on Blu-ray. Oh, they did. Kino. Golden Age of Exploitation. Kino put out and this is just a quick diversion. I promise we'll be back to Peter in just a second. I'm very excited about this. Kino Lorber put out this set of exploitation films. It's a 13 Blu-ray set of like 20 or so exploitation films from the 1920s through the 1960s, and they were doing like a liquidation sale on these the other day. They were doing, you know, their big Kino Lorber sale, and I got them all. So now I own all of these exploitation films. I already watched a few of them, and they were pretty interesting. I know there's one about, like, test tube babies. There's one about child brides in, like, Appalachia. Reefer madness, sex madness. Marijuana, weed with roots in hell. I watched that one. It was pretty interesting. Good stuff.
Which causes organ failure. And guess what?
Am I going to cover the latest goings-on of the Negative 47 cultists? For those who don't know, those are the QAnon people who moved to Dallas in order to await the second coming of our Lord and Savior JFK and JFK Jr. They're still down there. It's been 7 months. They're still there doing their cult thing. I guess I haven't seen what they've been doing lately, other than I saw they once again were waiting in the plaza for the second coming, which of course didn't come. And I think they're saying later in the month is the next attempt where they think it's going to happen.
But cannabis stops the cytokine storm, and it rejuvenates your organs. And the third way is blood clot.
What? No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
And guess which is the best anticoagulant?
Coagulant? And did he just say smoking is a vasoconstrictor, right? Is that only when it's like nicotine and tobacco, or is it all inhalation of smoke? Because if he's recommending people, in order to avoid blood clots, to smoke cannabis, that's the opposite of what you should be doing, because I'm pretty sure smoking is a vasoconstrictor. Again, I don't know if that's just nicotine, though. Let's see. Is smoking weed a vasoconstrictor? Let's see. As previously mentioned, THC acts by binding to CB1 receptor, producing vasoconstriction or relaxation. Vasoconstriction or relaxation, which varies according to the vascular bed involved, central, venous, peripheral vasculature, and its inherent properties. So I guess some of it constricts and some of it relaxes. Either way, it does not regenerate your organs, and it's not going to help you in any way about blood clots. And it might cause active harm in that avenue in terms of vasoconstriction, which is when your vascular system, like your veins, tighten, and it increases your blood pressure.
Medicine in the world. Anticoagulant means that it will stop blood clots from happening, or fix
anticoagulants thin your blood.
Them if they are happening. Cannabis, of course. So God knew this was going to happen. And so he gave us this medicine to save ourselves. And in the next video, I'm going to be...
Zozo Horror Show, thanks for 18 months. That's a second sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Marijuana McJoint Pants.
Talking about the solution, which is cannabis, and I can go into all the science. I'm going to show all the sources, and I'm going to prove without...
Like all the sources you showed in this video, Peter.
...a doubt that cannabis will save us. So I'm going to be making a lot more videos about cannabis versus COVID shot, because this is really the most important topic in the whole world right now. But this specific video is just exposing the problem.
It's funny too, because the vaccine isn't even like a major part of public discourse at this point. It seems at this point basically the people who got it, like myself, like my audience, we got it, and then idiots like Peter didn't get it, and they're not gonna get it. It's shitty. I wish they would. I think it would be the responsible thing to do for themselves and others, but they're not gonna do it. So this isn't a timely issue, Peter. I'm assuming every once in a while there'll be a booster, or like a yearly shot, like for the flu or whatever, and I'll get it and you won't, and it is what it is. Move on, Peter. All smoke is a vasoconstrictor, but weed acts as a vasodilator after initial absorption. Gotcha. Tucker White says basically Peter's argument is...
smoke weed every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty much.
And proving that it exists, and proving I predicted it, and many people did actually, and that
many people are predicting that the cabal will use a vaccine, and it can only be counteracted with weed.
they're admitting that they planned on doing this. But I did mention that cannabis can solve the problem. Now, some people may have doubts, for sure, obviously, and that's because maybe they're not aware how cannabis is the best medicine in the world, and it's the most popular medicine in the world, and how it's got hundreds of
both are untrue
medicines in it. And some people like me consider it to be a panacea.
It's not. A panacea does not exist.
Well,
Discordant Vole says he just needs something to fix his life. If not Trump, then cannabis. He's just rubbing everything he can find on the altar. Yeep.
Let me explain. I will get into more information in my next video, which is going to be based on the solution. And the solution is going to have information, scientific studies that prove that cannabis will be able to save these billions of lives. Scientific studies that prove that the 3 ways these vaccines kill people, cannabis can protect people from all 3 of those things, which is crazy. But of course, God is a genius, and he knew this was gonna...
God is a genius is the weirdest sentence. I was kind of under the impression that God is supposed to be omnipotent and omniscient, which I think goes a little bit above the human concept of genius. But then again, I'm sober right now, and Peter probably isn't when he made this video, so... Nick says, it's not a panacea, it's a podacea.
gonna happen a long time ago, so he made sure we were able to protect ourselves. All we have to do is transition humanity off the big pharma cult, which is murdering people, back to God's medicine, which is cannabis and other plants as well. But cannabis is going to be what's going to save people.
I wonder how Peter's church feels about weed, considering they're so conservative. Stone Corbell says, is a genius like that's kind of an understatement if we're assuming an omniscient God, right? Overthought says, could God roll a blunt so big even he couldn't smoke it? God prefers edibles or dabs.
These billions of people from these COVID shots. And in the next video after that, I'm going to explain my detailed plan how we together are going to both save billions of people, and then we're going to turn this around and make cannabis even more popular to the point where there's cannabis hospitals and cannabis...
What that even entail? Welcome to the Cannabis Hospital. Here's a joint. Here's a bag of Doritos. And there's a room over there with Netflix. It's got lots of colorful cartoons on it. You can go watch Adventure Time. Whatever you want. And then your cancer will be cured. Radiology says to give him the very slight credit he's earned, at least he's not recommending bleach as a cure-all. I know it's a low bar, but he successfully managed to clear it, unlike his hero. True.
Cannabis everywhere. Believe it or not, there's a huge silver lining here. They cannot hide the evidence.
Is weed legal in Peter's state? He lives in Pennsylvania.
That cannabis is the best medicine in the world anymore. They can't hide how powerful it is. Once people see how it saves billions of people, there won't be any denying cannabis is the best medicine in the world. And it will replace pharmaceuticals. And when that happens, we will enter a new era of healing, which is going to bring about a paradise, in my opinion, because once we stop being poisoned to death and actually heal ourselves and have incredible health and everyone's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy.
It's decriminalized? So does that mean there aren't dispensaries? I'm not sure what that means.
That will bring a paradise on earth.
No, Peter doesn't live in Texas.
Especially compared to what's happening right now.
John Doyle lives in Texas.
Which is hell. They're trying to kill
so no legal sale, but you don't get in trouble for possession, basically?
Billions of people. So I'll get...
That's a weird way to do it. You're basically just making... You're just making drug dealers more money, which I don't care. I'd rather be decriminalized than, you know... Pennsylvania's medical only? Okay. Just legalize it. Who cares? Stop wasting time and money and ruining people's lives. Afterac with 1,000 bits says Pride Month hype and also birthday month, but that's meh. Well, thank you very much for the bits.
Get into more detail about the solution and my plan for all of us to work together to save these billions of lives in my next 2 videos. But I just want to give you a gist because I don't want it to be all doom and gloom in this video. I want to give you guys hope because this is actually a very exciting time. We can work together. We can save the world. We have meaning.
Peter's psychology is so interesting in that his major drive appears to be like some sort of like savior complex. Like it's... I don't know how to explain this. He almost has main character syndrome, where he thinks that he has some ultimate purpose in life. Like he watched too many movies as a kid or something, and he thinks he's this chosen one that inevitably is going to come to change the world or help save people or be a part of tackling some great evil. It's very interesting. It's a complex he has that comes into everything he posts, whether it's the QAnon stuff or this. He feels the need to cast himself narratively in this role as a hero, and I wonder why that is. I wonder what is causing him to have that psychological need. Tucker White says, yeah, Izuko Midoriya, Peter is not. Overthought says, part of me thinks he's setting this up for when Pennsylvania does go full legal, build up the base, open shop, and profit. First name bunch of numbers, thanks for 2 months. Even if he were to and could open a dispensary, I don't think he has the money for that at this point, but even if he couldn't be making these medical claims. That would still be illegal. And he'd probably actually get noticed if he started doing it in a brick and mortar store. First name bunch of numbers says main character syndrome, but with Daddy Trump as the actual main character. I'll dub it side character syndrome.
We have purpose. We can do this. We can do it. I believe in us. God believes in us. If you ever wanted redemption for past mistakes, you ever wanted to save millions of lives, you have that power to do that now, just by sharing information and by helping people heal with cannabis. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. This is the most important video I ever made in my entire life. I really appreciate it if you share this, because people need to be aware of this problem. It's a huge problem. It's the equivalent of a comet hitting Earth. This is catastrophic, but we will unite against these elite. We will save billions of lives, and that will prove cannabis is the best medicine in the world, and we will create a paradise here on Earth. Thank you. This is Peter the Healer, and God bless the world.
You know, I'm glad Peter's back. I really am. Don't get me wrong, I wish he just wouldn't do videos at all because it would be better. He's spreading misinformation, but to be fair, he doesn't have a very large audience. More people see him through me, you know, pointing out where he's wrong, than see him just spewing his nonsense. Either way, if he's going to be around, I'm glad he's not doing the QAnon stuff currently. And, I don't know. I just don't. I hope he's back to making regular content, though, because he is entertaining. Anyway, let's move on and take a look at the bingo card real quick. Forced sterilization, population control is a motive. Purple Nickel says, God believes in us. Uh-huh. Yeah, Peter. To quote a song that I like, if there's a God, he's embarrassed, and it's no secret why. 30? He did not say a Peter's confidence interval. He didn't say, like, there's a 50% chance of this. Or whatever. At least I don't think so. Did he? Okay. I'm sorry if I missed it. I didn't hear that part. Peter's confidence interval, then? Deep state. CBD claims to be a cure panacea. Baja Blasts. And that might be it. Not 41. Well, no, he did, actually, because he used to say it would be even earlier that people. So moves goalposts, fair. Cites fiction as fact, indeed. Nope, he didn't say anything about vaccine shedding. I don't think we had ancient wisdom either. Okay, I think that's it. What are we going to do next? I guess let's do the toilet one. So this flat earther seems to think that the toilet on the International Space Station proves that the Earth is flat and that it's all fake, because he seems to think it's a very inconvenient toilet. I would agree, it's not ideal, but when you're in space, orbiting the Earth, you'll work with what you have, because you have to poop. So you gotta figure out a way to do it in zero gravity. So let's check it out. I challenge anyone to use this system here on Earth, where gravity is assisting you in making it easier to use. Okay. Yeah, it's basically a vacuum thing you stick on your butthole. Sorry to be gross, but just imagine a strong urination or some explosive diarrhea. Yeah, it wouldn't be great, probably. I don't think explosive diarrhea is ever fun.
By far, the most common question we get asked as astronauts is, how do you go to the bathroom in space?
Oh god, they layered music on top of the music that the NASA video was playing. What are they doing?
So, let's take a peek at the process.
Oh god, it's like a weird chill beat, and then it's that. Oh god, it's gonna give me a headache.
This compartment is called the WHC, a NASA acronym for Waste and Hygiene Compartment, I think. We just know it as WHC. It's inside this this we call the stall, which is a couple of walls and a door that give you some privacy, because you're right in the middle of node 3 with the treadmill on one side of the toilet, the weight machine we call ARED on the other side, and down.
I find that stuff so interesting. The astronauts have to spend so much time on the space station, like exercising regularly to try and counteract some of the muscle atrophy and the bone density issues that come from being in low gravity or zero gravity free fall for months at a time. Seems really, really maddening. Gnome Pickles with 100 bits says, so they believe that the station exists, but they believe that the toilet is too wonky to exist? No, they're using this to basically say the toilet is so stupid the whole thing is fake. Which is a weird thing to me. Microgravity, that's the word, thank you. It's so weird to me because if it was fake, you wouldn't make a toilet like this, you'd just make a more normal looking toilet. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't fake something to look like this. It only would look like this if this is really what you have to do in order to shit in space, if that makes sense.
On the floor, our awesome window called the cupola. And this is a high traffic area, people are coming and going, so you need the privacy. First of all, the desire to go, the need to go is very similar as on Earth, where you just know you have to go. It doesn't feel any different because the fluid might be floating in your bladder or something.
That's good. That would be really, really difficult and annoying if in microgravity, like, your body didn't sense having to use the bathroom because of the zero gravity. I'm glad that it's not an issue.
No, that's it. It's just the exact same sensation. You know you gotta go. Either one, number 1 or number 2. So you've decided that. You float into the WHC. And we have the toilet.
Yeah.
Which consists of a seat and a metal bucket that we call a keteo, which is a Russian acronym for something, container of something.
I've seen camping toilets that are a little bit like this, like portable toilets that are basically just a bucket with like a seat on it. They don't look fun.
And but it holds about, depending on how many people are here.
I wonder if, like, because I think China has a newer space station that's a little bigger, and I'm wondering if they have a more, I'm trying to think of a word for this. I'm wondering if they have a toilet that's a little more easy to use because they have a little bit more space. Stone Corbell says, if I play a goofy track of music over footage that disproves it, I'm a genius. Like God, true.
It holds about maybe 30 deposits, and we'll talk about.
What do you want him to? They did a sound effect. I was like, they're like, haha, he called it deposits. Yeah, you want him to be like, this is where we hold 30 sloppy shits. We're just monkeys shitting in outer space. This is where we keep the sloppy poopies. Big Dikenergy thing. Oh, Big Dikenergy. Ah, I get it. Did you have to change your name? I wonder if that was a Twitch thing. Thanks for 5 months, says, you gotta do a Chili DeCastro update soon. A saga is unfolding. Next time we do a Sovereign Citizen thing, it might be an entire Chili stream. He's been very strange lately.
About that in a second.
And Verkanon, thanks for 22 months.
The urine goes into this hose right here, and this valve is what activates the whole system. Okay, these are the two primary control panels.
I said Verkanon. Logarth of 50-bit says, monkeys shitting in outer space is my new prog rock band name. Cool.
For the WHC, when the system is ready for use, it's a V. This means it's going to the UPA. So we say, check that it's V to P. All right, now we're on the inside of the hygiene compartment. Close the door so that you have your privacy. You take the funnel. This knob right here activates the whole system. It's very, very convenient because it's just one valve operates it all. But in the event that you forget how the system operates, or you're brand new here and you just want to double check, in good NASA fashion, we have a checklist. This is called Procedure 2.301, the WHC Nominal Operations Cue Card. It's got several blocks for operation.
It's so interesting to me how this is all so complicated. I understand why it needs to be, because it's in space and things are complex pieces of machinery, and it's a toilet that needs to deal with waste material. So it's going to be complicated, it's going to be weird, and it's going to suck. Literally. I mean that literally. It's weird to me that a conspiracy theorist sees this as a problem, though, because again, if you were to create a fictional space station because space wasn't actually real, which is what this guy believes, you wouldn't make it like this. You would just make it way simpler. You know what I mean? Reality is mundane like this. Reality is kind of complex. Fiction isn't usually this intricate in its lies.
So there's two different ways where the pee can go. It can just go into a bucket, which is called a yereve, and essentially you're just peeing until that bucket's filled up, and then you have to swap out the bucket. Or you can configure WHC to UPA, a urine processor assembly, and that way the urine is going directly into the system, and that's where we normally keep it. And it's most convenient for the crew members because you're not constantly changing out a tank. So there's a couple blocks to tell you how to make those changes, and some detailed steps if you need to know how exactly to do.
I wonder if they had to redesign. Well, no, I guess I don't know who was the first woman to go to the ISS? I'm just trying to think about it, because by that time, the first toilets like this in space probably were the ISS, because the original stuff were probably using, like, diapers and stuff, right? I guess I don't know.
Do it, and
I was just wondering in my head, basically, did they have to redesign the pee portion of the toilet at all once women astronauts became a more common thing? But then I'm realizing the ISS was like the 80s, so that was already a design element, I'd imagine. I don't know. Logarth says the vacuum works for men and women, there was never a change. Okay, cool.
In case things go wrong with the hardware,
I just wasn't sure if they had to change, like, the actual suction, like, thing. Because if it was originally made to, like, latch on to basically a space where a penis would go, I wasn't sure if they had to change it at all for, you know.
Yourself. There's the WHC malfunctions cue card, and we thought of all the different light combinations and the failure modes, and
I'm sorry, you're right. ISS was the 90s.
And but the bottom line is, if there's a red light, we talk to the ground, and together we figure out the path forward. Okay, back to normal operations. Time to go. You take the valve, and you turn it on. You hear the fan noise.
Yeah. Oh, don't put your hand on it. Oh no! Don't touch it. Like, I get it, but like, don't do that, sir. You're an astronaut.
Show you that there is in fact airflow. So a little bit.
The dubbed over music is giving me psychic damage. I know.
Airflow, and that helps everything flow in the right direction. We've got our simulator.
Oh my God! Is he gonna put some like drink in the pee thing? That's great.
And
yeah, okay, that works. The caption said urine going everywhere. Well, yeah, if you were using this and actually peeing into it, let's say you had a penis, you would have it, like, secured, I'd imagine, around your, you know. Either way, you wouldn't just be having it, you know, out here like he's doing for that. He's using it as an demonstration.
That's where your business goes. You're complete. You want to be a good crew member, so you make sure that you wipe off
That's so
the excess.
There's got to be that one person in the ISS that everyone gets pissed off at because they piss all over it and they don't clean it right. Tucker White says, you think any of these astronauts use this to spank it? No, I genuinely don't. Astronauts must masturbate in space, right? I'd be so concerned about fluids getting places into equipment and stuff.
Use a disinfectant wipe occasionally or often, and
the piss would float. I mean, surface tension is still a thing, and like if it's stuck to a thing, it might still stick to it.
Then you simply turn the valve off. But I want to show you number 2 as well, so I'll leave it running and we'll roll right into that. Okay, when it is time to go, you flip this lever here and that lifts up the lid. The seat here is about 5 or 6 inches in diameter, and there's a plastic liner in there where your deposit goes. What I have here is green.
Oh no! Okay.
Beans and
I thought it was a thing of poop that was sealed.
Mushrooms, and I do not.
Green beans and
I
mushrooms.
like mushrooms, so I don't mind.
I'd imagine for the reason for the small diameter of the toilet is twofold. First of all, the smaller it is, the less it weighs, and weight is always a big concern when you're building equipment to take into space because it costs a lot of money per pound to take anything into space. Secondly, in order to hold a suction, the smaller the hole, the easier it's going to be to have a consistent, like, suction at a lower power. So if it was like a big hole, like a normal toilet, it would require a lot more power to maintain suction on the larger surface area of the hole.
Contributing this piece of food in the name of education.
I can't go to space. I depend on my bidet.
So pretend I ate this yesterday, and now it goes into there. You clean yourself, and the wipes.
The caption says, what's holding the crap
Go
down
into there
if there
as
is a
well.
plastic liner? What's holding the crap down? The suction. What?
This red tab, you pull it off the rim, and depends on how full the container is. This one's about halfway through. We do have a stick, and you push it down in there. With all its other...
It's not gross, but like, yeah. Early space travel. It's a bitch. First name bunch of numbers says, supposedly the way microgravity affects blood pressure makes it very hard to maintain an erection in space. I have to suspect NASA just doesn't want to admit if it actually does happen up there. Probably.
Friends, and then it's time to
poop stick.
Put a new bag on. To put a new bag on, separate, you pull that, it's like a...
I don't believe them. Baja says NASA has said no one has had sex on the space station, but neither of us believe that.
Hair scrunchie, and get
At minimum, they must have tried. there have to be people who tried, if nothing else. Like, really? You're telling me people aren't fucking on the space station or trying? Bullshit.
It all, so it has max capacity there,
And heck, maybe, I don't know about the blood pressure thing. Maybe it's hard for people with dicks to get erections. That's no problem, though. You can still have sex in space even if you don't have an erection. You just gotta bring a strap on up there. Kippy says, low-key, the best part of this is going, Elon Musk wants to do this and imagining him having to deal with it. He's gonna show up later in his luxury craft after all the slaves are already in place on Mars, ready to serve him.
ready to go. Close it up. Close the lid. Now you've gone number one. Number two, you cleaned yourself up, and it's time to turn the system off. You just take this valve, rotate it to off, the fan spins down, the system checks itself, all the lights go out, and you're done. So congratulations, you've just used the WHC for the first time, and you've learned about the process. Hope it's educational.
Remind me not to go into space unless the toilets get better. MH Darkbeast says, but Hannah, if the toilet is that small, how did Mini-Me get sucked out? Obviously, the toilets on the moon base are much bigger. Tucker White says there was a space shuttle mission, I forget which specific one, where a married couple flew up into space where allegedly they porked. NASA disputed this, but I choose to believe it happened. It must have! There's no way they didn't try!
Educational, but I don't think it's going to lessen the amount of times I have to answer that question. Thanks for watching.
How do they handle diarrhea? Probably very carefully. So is this guy's claim, and what he is claiming as evidence is just that the toilet on the ISS is gross? I don't disagree that it's kind of gross, but, like, science is gross sometimes. Don't know what to tell you. Oh no. We're gonna get transphobia, transvestigation on the bingo card now. Apologies.
Okay, so why the big hubbub? Why the transformer agenda being pushed?
He's using transformer because he doesn't want to use the term transgender because he thinks it's going to get him banned off YouTube because he's profoundly negative on trans people like myself.
Heavily lately. Well, maybe they're getting ready to break the glass in case of emergency. So
no, this isn't the sex offender guy. That's a different guy.
I would expect, even possibly before the midterms, sometime this summer, maybe Michelle...
Joe Biden's press secretary said he's running again. I'm not surprised. Everything in this next election is going to be such a shit show.
Obama, if not to officially announce, start dropping hints.
Tucker White says, to be fair, the U.S. government is hiding the Allspark inside the Hoover Dam. True.
That she'll be running in 2024. So that the abomination of desolation can sit in the quote-unquote holy place, the throne of Babylon. It is undeniable that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are a failed plot.
You could say they're failed in their duty as executives because, like, they suck. I think they suck. Their approval rating's really low. Some of that, I think, is completely unwarranted. People blaming them for gas prices and shit that isn't their fault. But, like, yeah, he hasn't exactly been decisive on most issues that need to be dealt with, has he? But I don't think they're gonna, primary him. I just don't see that happening. I wouldn't be mad if they did, but I don't think they will. Comrade Devin says NASA reportedly did a study on impure thoughts in space. Mars mission may be all female to avoid astronauts having sex during their 15-year journey, or 1.5-year journey. Avoid pregnancy? Quite possibly. Avoid sex. No one tell NASA. I want tales of the lesbian Mars mission.
Neither are electable, re-electable. So I would indeed expect they're getting ready to break the glass. Meanwhile, corporations like Disney, all of them showing their colors, pun intended, during Pride Month and before, with this big old hubbub about Disney that just happens to repeatedly hire traffic cops of the child kind, if you know what I'm saying.
Is he claiming that Disney is hiring child traffickers? Who is he even talking about?
Repeatedly hires these people, but need vigorous background checks for you to buy a pow pow.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yet Disney can't seem to do good enough background checks to find out the people they keep hiring are involved in some naughty activities involving children constantly for years.
By pow pow, he means gun. He's trying not to say gun because he's afraid of the algorithm.
So, just my opinion. I picked Kamala Harris would win the last one. I missed it I came in second, I guess. They got her in there with the puppet geriatric Biden to be her psycho mouthpiece as she runs around spewing word salad all across the world. But we know who truly runs it all, who got all the attention when he returned to the White House recently. And his wife, that many openly claim is a transformer herself.
She's not. A lot of people are idiots. I don't know if you know that.
One of which being Joan Rivers, who suddenly passed after stating as much.
Because Joan Rivers looked so good, and she was so young. How untimely.
So, just thought I'd point that out. They're grooming, they're getting ready. This will most likely be your 2024 Democratic candidate.
I don't think it will be, but even if it was, Michelle Obama isn't trans. She just isn't. Like, objectively, if she was, I wouldn't care. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, that's interesting that we had a transgender first lady. But, like, so? She's not either way, it doesn't matter.
It's all a show.
In terms of pragmatism and electability, I do think Michelle Obama would probably be a better choice than Biden again. Just because mainstream America, I think, has, other than, like, right-wing people who would never vote for a Democrat anyway, I think liberals and a lot of centrists look on the Obama years as like, oh, great, you know? So they associate Obama and Michelle Obama with, I don't know, a better time in politics, as weird as that sounds, considering what a shit show those years were when the Republicans were, you know, saying all sorts of racist shit about Obama. Either way, I think she would probably actually have a better shot than Biden at this point, but I don't think she's gonna run.
So it doesn't really matter.
Tucker White says, I don't know what this dork means by transformer, but now I want to see art of Michelle Obama turning into a goddamn transformer. And Tucker White says, meant to say, I know. Gotcha.
She runs against Drumpf or anyone else.
Good lord, that guy's weird. This is the guy that filmed stuff in front of his water heater in his garage. Anyway, moving on. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hydrate. I'm not on camera, but I am drinking water. I will try and make it audible. There, could you hear that? I was drinking water. Nothing on this page? Flat... Wait, did we have flat Earth? I guess the guy didn't explicitly say flat Earth in the toilet video, did he? Who'd win in a fight, Cece or Pratt? Probably Cece. I don't know, though. Transphobia, transvestigation. I think that might be it. Tucker White says, seriously though, when all signs point to a rematch of the dementia-addled zombies from 2020, what hope is there for this broken and diseased country? I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. It'll be interesting. I've never seen an empire collapse before. That could be fun. Not as fun because you're inside it, but, you know, interesting nonetheless. At least I'm by a lot of sources of fresh water, relatively speaking, so. Wholesome cleanse.
It's almost Pride Month. My gay bottom.
How about this guy? This is the guy that got arrested that one time for soliciting things from a 14-year-old. Anyway, he's into QAnon, and now he's gonna bitch about the United States giving aid to Ukraine, because apparently he thinks the war in Ukraine isn't real. He thinks it's fake, and that it's a trick to get Americans to give money to them.
There's nothing going on. They duped us for $85 billion. They're on the beach in Kiev, just relaxing and partying and having fun. No more money for Ukraine ever. Never.
Does he understand that the Russians gave up on trying to take the capital and now the fighting is happening primarily like in the eastern region of the country? No? Okay.
Never. Do not allow our government to give them one more weapon, one more dime or nothing. It's a money laundering scheme.
And also, yes, that the capital is inland. So, to my knowledge, there isn't a beach unless they have a big old lake. I don't know, though.
Red alert, red alert, red alert. We're being duped. They're taking all our money. Ukraine is not being fought. It's not happening. Everything they say is a lie.
Filmed on a potato that he later ate.
Ukraine is partying with our money. They're celebrating life with our money. With our $80 billion we've given them.
Does he understand that $80 billion is not that much money in the grand scheme of the federal budget? Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. I'm not trying to discount that. We should be spending our money, I think, and though I support sending support to Ukraine, I think we should be spending billions of dollars also on American healthcare. But at the end of the day, $80 billion isn't that much, especially if we're considering this part of the defense budget, which, considering its soft military power in order to give aid to an ally against Russia, I'd consider that basically military spending. It's soft power. Parker Nell Daughter, thanks for 9 months, says, it's time for our sub baby, Hannah. What's the name of our bundle of joy? Let's call it Parker Nell Daughter.
This is a money laundering bullcrap. There's pictures on Gateway Pundit right now.
Money laundering? What do you think is money laundering?
Of Ukrainians on the beach in Kiev. These people are not under attack. This is a total bullshit story.
Once again, I'm not sure about the claims about a beach there, but regardless, the capital isn't under siege right now, to my understanding. I'm pretty sure the Russians pulled out of that area of the country a while ago to start focusing on the eastern part of the country.
Nobody's fucking dying. Nobody's lying. Nobody's dying. They're all lying about it. There's a Gateway Pundit. Go there and you'll see a picture.
Gateway Pundit is trash. MH Darkbeast says, so Hannah, what do you think of the strangest bit of Disney Plus censorship? The Hail to the King thing about the Mandarin Trevor Slattery. Trevor's buddy is in the jail, used to call someone the C word that comes in saltines. Oh my god, did they censor that? That's so ridiculous. Why all of a sudden are companies pretending that's an actual slur? Twitch did it, and now Disney's doing it? How weird.
Picture of Kia.
Narnania Owl says, anyone want to bet those pictures, if they're even from the right place, turn out to be 3+ years old? Who knows? I don't care. It's the Gateway Pundit.
People from Kiev relaxing on the beach. Do you think if there's a war, if you think we're being bombed in California, you think Californians would be going to the beach, relaxing? Hell.
I mean, if Northern California was being bombed, but Southern California wasn't, I could see people in Southern California going to the beach, which is more akin to what you're describing, because again, the capital is not under attack currently, at least not the way that the East is.
Hell no. There's people from Kiev, Ukraine, right?
Tucker White says, to be fair, I wouldn't be shocked to find out some money laundering was happening in Ukraine. Also, look at all the pixels in this video. I mean, you could probably find money laundering anywhere that there's substantial amounts of government money getting thrown around. I don't know, though.
Right now, on the beach, relaxing, spending our tax dollars, payers' dollars. Do you want to keep giving money to Ukraine and keep losing everything we have and keep paying $10 a gallon? It's getting there, y'all.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
This is some ridiculous. Go to Gateway Pundit if you don't believe me. There's a picture and an article about Ukraine not being under attack right now. Kiev is not being under attack, according to Gateway Pundit. It's bullcrap. They're out there on the beach, relaxing, sleeping, eating, spending our money. This is a grift. Red alert, red alert, red alert. We are being scammed by Joe Biden and his henchmen. We are losing all of our capital, all of our wealth of our nation because of Joe Biden giving all our money away to Zelensky. Zelensky was warned they were going to be attacked before they were attacked by Russia, and they did nothing to freaking prepare for the attack.
What? Ukraine did a lot to prepare for the attack, which is why they've been doing so well relative to what everyone, including Russia, thought was going to happen. Russia thought they were going to steamroll in and basically take the capital in like 3 or 4 days, and it's been months now because they had preparation for other countries to send aid and weapons and stuff, and they could prepare their forces for the incursion. What? He's just saying lies now.
We're suspected to protect Ukraine, give them all our money. I say hell no. We need a 1 million man march in Washington, D.C. to protest the Ukrainian war and give them money. Who's with me on a Ukrainian protest to protest Ukraine? These people are not who we think they are. They are Nazis trying to take all of our wealth. Ukraine cannot defeat us with guns and weapons, but they taking our money. They're making us weak. I'm calling on a national protest. Washington.
1 second. What is the federal budget? Like, what's the how much money does the United States have? Let's see. The United States budget is in the trillions of dollars. So 84 billion or whatever is not that much money relative to the entire, federal stock of tax dollars. How much money does the U.S. government take in per year? The government in the U.S. collects about $5.4 trillion a year in income and payroll taxes. So that's just income and payroll taxes. That doesn't include things like capital gains tax or anything along those lines. So I think 80 billion is probably fine if it is that high.
DC, I want 1 million people. I'm going there if I can get some people to go with me. Y'all want to go to Washington, D.C. and protest all this money we give to Ukraine? I'm ready. Not one more dime to Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't deserve it. Ukraine doesn't deserve it. They're not being attacked. There's pictures in the Gateway Pundit that shows them lounging on the friggin' beach. If you are in the war and you're being attacked by Russia, say if you're living in California, okay, let's say you live in Miami, Florida. Your friggin' community is being bombed and killed and all your people are getting...
Tucker White says, let me translate what this guy is saying.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach. Killed. Are you going to go to the beach in Miami, Florida, South? Are you going to go to South Beach and sit there in the sun when you're being under attack? Oh, hell no. This is a lie from the devil. Who's all here? Who's with me? We need to go to Washington, D.C. All these people are protesting gun rights and they're protesting abortion and all this bullcrap. I say we need to protest Ukraine getting all this money. No more money for Ukraine. It's a grift. It's a scam. We're being scammed out of our national wealth. Hello, anybody here? I see there's 3 people.
What's my favorite constellation? I don't know. Let me look. I've never thought about it. I don't know if I have a favorite. If I have to pick one, I'll say Orion. That's yours? God damn it. Hold on. Pick my sign? I don't want to, because I'm a Pisces and I don't like fish. I just need a list of them. Well, this is unhelpful. Of course, yeah, we know it's BS. What about Bob? Jesus Christ. Do you think I fucking believe in astrology? Let's go Leo. Leo looks pretty rad.
Who's here, man? Ukraine is scamming us. Everybody go to Gateway Pundit. There's an article on there with people lying on the beach.
For the record, that's for, like, wedding invitation stuff, I'm guessing. Actually, no, that's probably for the Globe that she's doing, if I had to guess. For the wedding. So it's a wedding thing.
What a scam. Yes, they're sipping. Go to Gateway Pundit. They're on the beach. All the citizens of...
Comrade Devin. I already picked one. Thanks for the link, though.
Kiev, Ukraine are sitting on the beach. They're scamming us out of money. The Democrats are taking the money. They're probably getting like 90% and putting it in their pockets. We are being bled dry of our national...
Not only is that unevidenced, but why is he acting like Democrats are the only people who have sent money to Ukraine? Like, the United States Congress was pretty overwhelmingly in favor of this, including Republicans.
Wealth. We need...
Nick says, sir, the real money laundering is the funding of whatever diploma mill gave you your high school diploma, if you even have one.
We need to fight back. We need to go to Washington, D.C. and have a million-man march against Ukraine. We've been tricked. We've been duped. I knew all along. A lot of people in this nation think Ukraine's the good guys. They're not the good guys. They're the lying sack of shits that's trying to take our national wealth. No more money. They're the reason why we got $5 and $6, $7 and $8 gallon gas. It's Ukraine's fault. It's Zelensky's fault.
It's Ukraine's fault that Russia decided to invade their country.
He was warned.
Neural Alchemist, thanks for 18 months. That's a second sub baby. This second sub baby's name is going to be Anton Legay.
Before they were attacked, they were about to be attacked, and they did nothing to prepare, and we're responsible.
They did plenty to prepare.
To fix Ukraine, I say fucking let them all die. Fuck.
Wow, this guy's an asshole.
Ukraine, screw the language, but screw Ukraine. Let everybody in Ukraine die or fight for their lives with their own friggin' hands and stuff. Ukraine is a scam, and they're part of a scam of Democrats. Down with Democrats. Down with Ukraine. Get rid of them all. We're being bled dry for our national wealth. We've already given $80 billion to Ukraine, along with the $85 billion in weapons we left in Afghanistan. We've lost $165 billion in 2 ways since Biden's been in there. $165 billion. I know it's not a lot of money in the long run, but hey, $165 billion could have built a lot of friggin' safe schools for our kids. If they are being shot. I don't think it's real, but if this...
Oh, shit! False flag on the bingo card.
We could have spent $165 billion worth of money. We could have built the hugest border wall of all time. We could have built a border...
Is he still obsessed about the wall?
Border wall, 100 stories high, with 165 billion. You could have built a border wall 2,000 miles long, 100 stories high, and 50 stories deep. Was 20.
I don't think he understands how big the border of the United States is.
Feet thick steel concrete. We could have built the best border wall they would never, ever, ever climb over. 100 stories high.
This has been talked about to death, but most undocumented immigration does not happen through people crossing the border illegally. Most of it comes from people getting a visa, coming to the United States legally, and then overstaying the visa. So even in a hypothetical where you build a perfect wall that stops people on foot from getting through it, that doesn't stop most of undocumented immigration. Not to mention, I don't give a shit about undocumented immigration. I don't really care. If someone wants to come to America, I think they should. Give them a social security number, have them pay taxes on whatever income they make, and that's fine. I don't care.
Yes, Butterdog, let's go. Get 1 million people. We'll go to Washington, D.C. It's bullcrap. Ukraine are Nazis, and they're trying to kill us by taking our money. Our money is valuable, and they're bleeding our wealth dry. They keep asking for more and more money. Go to Gateway Pundit, Butterdog, if you don't believe me. There's an article showing people from Ukraine, Kiev, Ukraine, on the beach. It's a picture of Kiev on the beach. If you're living in Florida and China's bombing Florida...
He seems slightly inebriated. That's just how he is. He's like this all the time.
Are you going to be sitting on the beach in Florida getting some rays? Hell no. You're going to be out there fighting for your life. This is all a scam.
What about Bob? Thanks for $10.
Everybody, we need
and
some...
says sorry for some reason? Why are you apologizing?
Hi, people. This is a scam to get our money. It's a scam to destroy our country the best way they can do it without...
Oh, yeah, you don't have to apologize. I get it.
Fired a bullet. They're taking our money. We need to figure this out. Everybody.
No, I feel bad. I feel like I made you feel bad. I'm sorry.
We need to figure this out.
You didn't have to give me money for that.
Keep Biden from giving all this money away. It's all over the internet right now. Look it up. We've been scammed by Ukraine and Russia. Russia isn't attacking none of Ukraine. They're just attacking the biolabs. That is the truth.
It's not. That's a QAnon conspiracy theory.
All that you read is fake.
Sorry, Tucker. Tucker said, once again, a wall doesn't stop planes, ships, or digging tunnels under it. Hell, some cartels cut a hole large enough to drive an 18-wheeler through.
They just try to...
There is no physical barrier like a fence or any sort of like thing like that that is impenetrable. It doesn't exist. People will figure out a way.
Get rid of the Nazis. The bad...
America, like, has I'm not even talking about the northern border. The southern border of the United States is one of the longest contiguous borders in the world. You cannot build a physical barrier that would work across the whole thing. It's just not how anything works. Hydrate.
Bad people like Zelensky, the Nazi, all the other Nazis in Ukraine.
Oh, that's fun. Just literally parroting Russian propaganda with no basis. I'd love to ask why he thinks the president of Ukraine is a Nazi. Like, what is he basing that on? What actions specifically?
They even took a picture of a Nazi the other day with a Nazi tattoo on his arm, and they tried to make it look like he just got his car bombed by he tried to make him look like a citizen of Ukraine, get his car bombed. Are you guys tired of giving $85 billion to Afghanistan and $80 billion to Ukraine? All these weapons, all this money and all this? Are you tired of that yet? Who's ready to stand up and fight for our country? Who is ready? Any of you? Are any of you ready? This is not about me. It's not about you. It's not about the past. It's about the right now. It's about today. Today is what we got to worry about.
He's repeating himself. There's only like a minute and a half left.
Gas is going to $10 a gallon. Food is going up 100,000%. We're losing our stock market. We're losing our national wealth. People are losing their jobs. This is so much more than more than one person. Y'all gotta care. Y'all gotta stand up. We need a 1 million man march in friggin' Washington, D.C. to tell them no more money for Ukraine. I hope Ukraine gets their asses killed, man. Hope Ukraine gets wiped out because...
Jesus Christ, what a monster. Tucker White says, nah, I've got shit to do, but have fun doing a toothless protest.
They're freaking lying, and if they're lying, they're dying. You know, it's bullshit. They're out there partying with our money. It's our fucking money. I wish we would invade Ukraine and we'll finish them off. I wish America would just bomb the fuck out of them. They're such pathetics. I say America should just turn their back on Ukraine and bomb the hell out of them and take them out.
He's literally just describing war crimes. He just wants to do war crimes, and he's calling other people Nazis. God damn. Radiology says, Great Britain has a natural barrier all around it, and our government is still using, quote, illegal immigration as an excuse to remove human rights to deport them to camps in Rwanda. Oof. Is this reportable? Probably.
We could take them out quick. Bullshit. Ukraine is a scam. Do not support Ukraine. If you don't believe me, go to Gateway Pundit. And there's a picture on Gateway Pundit with all the people on the beach lounging around. I don't know if Zelensky was sipping. I don't know if Zelensky sipping drinks on the beach, but I know citizens were. All the citizens were. And all they're doing is distracting us with this January 6th bullshit, fake ass hearing. And this friggin' bullshit Roe versus Wade. All the people are paid by George Soros out there.
Word salad. I think he hit like 7 different right-wing talking points in the span of 20 seconds.
In Washington, D.C. protesting, they know they can still get their death abortion. They can still kill their babies. Fudge. Everybody, this is bullcrap. I'll be back. Never give up, never give in, never surrender. This is Great MAGA King 2022.
That guy's terrible. Good Lord. Okay. Enough of that guy. Electric Coyote says, does this guy not understand that we had 2 decades worth of military equipment in Afghanistan? That's not something that can just be brought back in a few days. Yeep. He did quote Galaxy Quest, yes.
Now, how many of you out there just love revelation knowledge? Like you love stumbling upon knowledge that just blows your mind. Well, every now and then I go to a Plain Truth, his channel, and this dude always has very intelligent, knowledgeable videos, all right? And this video is called The Great Reset, and there's a theory about the mud flood, and But what I find fascinating is there are structures hundreds of years ago, very complicated, detailed structures, and it does make you wonder who exactly built these.
I hate mud floods so much as a conspiracy theory because it effectively is the kind of conspiracy theory that requires everyone on Earth to be in on it, basically. Or at least so many people that it's ridiculous. The entire idea of mud flood, for those who don't know, is that buildings that were, like, let me look. Neoclassical buildings. So, the neoclassical style of architecture was popular, around... Neoclassical architecture is pretty popular amongst groups who want to associate themselves with ancient power, if they want to draw a direct lineage from themselves to the Romans, the Greeks, Western powers that are fundamental in a lot of cultures and our understandings of government and society and philosophy going back, all the way to Greece. So, like, when the United States decided to design its capital and its important buildings, they did neoclassical architecture, which is why it has so many columns and stuff. It looks very Roman. It looks very Greek. You get the idea. Other countries around the world have done the same thing. In fact, Adolf Hitler actually planned a large city with a similar idea in mind. Germania, that was the name of it. This was a city that he was planning to have built after their victory in World War II. Luckily, that never happened. But anyway, he had this whole model built, and he also wanted to build this grand new capital city that would take its design basically from the classical era, thus neoclassicalism that was already popular amongst, like, American government and other governmental stuff throughout the Western world. So anyway, because buildings today don't typically look like neoclassical or other more ornate styles of architecture that have been popular in the past, whether we're talking about something like Art Nouveau or, like, going back further when we're talking about, like, cathedrals and stuff, if we're talking about Baroque architecture, because they don't see that same architectural style in modern buildings, they believe that that means we are incapable in the modern age of reproducing these styles, and therefore it must mean that they were not, in fact, built by people relatively recently, but they were built by an ancient civilization that existed long before the Greeks or the Romans. It must have been the prior to the Babylonians or something. And they believe that this ancient civilization was Tartaria, as they call it, and that they built all these buildings, including in Washington, D.C. They were buried for thousands of years after a, quote, mud flood, and then in, like, the 1800s or whatever, 1800s, around there, we began digging up these buildings and using them ourselves. Of course, they were empty, so according to these people, they took a bunch of children who were orphans, brought them into these cities, and just told them, okay, this is the city now, you do work, and that no one ever mentioned it, and that they were just fed lies. But no one ever mentions that time that a bunch of kids were brought to the city and they were the only people that lived there. So they believe that basically all of human history is a lie. It's crazy.
And as you all know, we have been lied.
Tucker White says, yes, classical style is cool and all, but I'd kill to make an Art Deco popular again. Mm-hmm.
About everything. 300 and...
Thank you, Retro Pastiche. Oh, Surfs! Rad. Lance, thank you very much for the raid. Everyone go check out the Surfs. Lance is always great. Does a raid, very based, has great content. So please, go check out Lance of the Surfs here on Twitch. Could I get a link in the chat so people can go check out Surfs TV? Hi everyone from the raid. I'm Hannah. I'm a trans leftist streamer. Tuesdays, Tinfoil Tuesdays, my big day for this channel. We do conspiracy theory debunking, and as many of you probably know, conspiracy theories have become basically a fundamental part of a lot of political discourse in this country. So if you want to listen to me debunk and talk about the origin of a lot of strange conspiracy theories that intersect with all sorts of politics most of the time. Sometimes it's just silly stuff like Bigfoot for fun, but most of the time it's stuff that a lot of QAnon types believe, or at least Q adjacent. We have flat earthers, and in this case we have mud flood adherents that believe that basically all neoclassical architecture was secretly built over 5,000 years ago by an ancient civilization called Tartaria, and then uncovered by Americans in the 1800s, and then they rewrote all history to pretend they built it. Yeah. So anyway, let's check this out. Oh, we're also doing conspiracy bingo. Get your bingo cards in the chat. The first person to win a bingo gets a gift sub from me. So if you'd like to, do that.
60 degrees.
I did see Linwood came out as a flat earther. Oh, I want him to do a video about it so bad. He's lost his I say he's lost his mind like he's had it in the last, 10 years. Well, whatever was left, it's gone.
Degrees of lies and deceptions. That is the world that we live in. So if you believe that the criminal elite are telling you the truth about the time frame or time zone that you're actually living in, you're most likely mistaken.
Oh, does this guy think we're not even living in the year 2022? Obviously, calendars are kind of arbitrary social constructs anyway, but does he think they're lying to us about what year it is? It's secretly the year 1200 or something?
Now, I do have to retract my statement about hacking the headlines. First, I started watching A Plain Truth, and I remember she talked about a theory that Armageddon may have already happened. You all...
Thank you, by the way, people who have been following. I appreciate it very much.
For all the Christians out there...
I'm very close to 10,000 followers on Twitch. Very exciting.
You have to go to this channel and watch this video, because apparently no one can debunk or disprove the video. See, I just watched this video and I'm like, oh my God. For the first time in 3 years, that explains this big counterfeit production going on. You all do understand these...
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. For the record, if you're from the serfs, I get it. Criticizing Israel, totally cool. I criticize Israel, but conspiracy theorists don't just criticize Israel, if you know what I mean. They do an anti-Semitism on the reg.
These are fake Jews in...
Oh, God, they're doing the thing! So a common trope in conspiracy theories is to say, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic, because really what we consider Jewish people aren't really Jewish people. It's very common. There are whole videos explaining their justifications for this. Just know it's a complete red herring. All they're trying to do is redefine what Jewish is in order to try and justify their anti-Semitism.
Land that calls itself Israel with a satanic symbol on its flag. This is not the Star of David. This is a joke. This is satanic. There is a giant counterfeit production going on. And who is behind this counterfeit production? The Jesuit order. Remember, the scriptures say the generation after the millennial reign of Christ, the devil will go out and deceive the nations. That means you are most likely deceived knowing what time frame or time zone you're actually in. So, like I said before, you have...
He's talking about Revelations, biblical end times, stuff too. That's what he's talking about here.
You have to go over here to this channel, Hacking the Headline.
Jake Thonis, thanks for 3 months, says, nice stream. Thank you.
Let's find this video and try your best to debunk or disprove it. I'm going to spend, I don't know, the next few months just going back through the book of Revelation.
Oh, Raiders. By the way, the tinfoil stuff is because on Tinfoil Tuesdays, depending on what level of the hype train we get to, I put on more tinfoil stuff. I have a jacket that goes with this, but we only got to level 4 today, not 5, so...
Because
Bible is evidence. It's Bible is evidence on the bingo card, but it's not only evidence as Bible, because he's using other things as well. So I wouldn't count it for the bingo space. There's your ancient wisdom. I would count it for ancient wisdom, though, on the bingo card. Radiology says neoclassical architecture takes many of its base concepts from the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius's book De Architecturia, which he wrote to try and persuade other architects of his time to take up his principles. All evidence says it was completely ignored in his time, but it was the only book on architecture that survived to the modern day, so our classical buildings are based off of one guy's failed vanity project.
I think they might have just stumbled upon the greatest revelation ever. This is why I find this so intriguing and fascinating, this idea. Because imagine a bunch of fake Jews, let's say they rebuild the temple, and they're doing a daily sacrifice, and the man of sin comes on the scene. Dude, a bunch of fake Jews are counterfeiting something in the scriptures. It's not real. The actual temple has been destroyed.
It's really interesting how deep anti-Semitic conspiracy theories lie at the bottom of things like QAnon, while also being heavily tied to American right-wing politics, which at least historically has been very pro-Israel. I'm wondering if that's ever going to come to a head as we've seen more and more of the right be subsumed by this sort of conspiracy-driven rhetoric. I'm wondering if this is ever going to come in conflict between, like, the crazy, on-the-ground, QAnon right-wingers and the party leaders that actually make decisions and stuff about, you know, which countries to support. Is this on YouTube? It is. Kippy with 45 bits and Tucker White with 45 bits says, would someone with a time machine visit Vitruvius, knock him out, and edit his book so we get Art Deco as the go-to style?
We don't even know how long ago, because we have most likely been lied about the day and age that we're actually living in. See, this is what you all have to understand. This is the big argument or debate. Can you prove what time frame you're actually living in?
I guess I don't know what this guy means by that. Can I prove that all of the previous calendar years that were said to have existed? No, not in the way he's probably thinking. I could show you, like, artifacts and documents from the past that will verify these things, but I don't think he would believe those. He'd say they were forgeries, so what's really the point? Furthermore, it doesn't even matter. We're all agreeing that it is the year of our Lord, 2022, right? That's what matters. Calendars aren't a magical thing. It's literally an arbitrary social construct that allows us to tell time and coordinate with one another. Like, we could be using the calendar we currently use. People used to use a different calendar. You could make up a new calendar. Like, whatever. The point is, it works for our purposes. It's a tool. Tucker White says, no hand of the Matrix, as flawed as it is, would be better than what we're getting. Kippy with 45 says, oops, meant to have a message with the last one. Oh well, basically the reason Christian nationalists are very pro-Israel is because the Jewish people being in Israel is part of the apocalypse and the return of Christ. So that's where their support came from. Yeah, but I wonder how that conflicts with some of these anti-Semitic people, especially someone like this who, like, claims that they believe that the people who are in Israel aren't what they consider to be Jewish people. You see what I'm saying?
You know that the criminal elite deceives you about everything. So why would they tell you the truth about what year it really is? Anyway, I'm not going to argue or anything. You have to go watch this video and start brainstorming about how the devil could deceive all the nations of the world after the millennial reign of Christ. Because maybe you are that generation and you don't even realize it. And something else that I have to let you all know. Now, Russian Vids, he is a shill.
My favorite genre of conspiracy content is when different whack job conspiracy theorists all start doing the Spider-Man pointing at each other meme about which one is a paid CIA shill. Happens a lot.
I do have to agree with the plain truth. This guy is a shill. Now, what is...
I'm not super privy. I gotta sit down and watch the videos to find the details, but RV Truth, which is Russian Vids, for those who don't know, pretty big conspiracy channel, relatively speaking, for conspiracy content on YouTube. He's in some kind of beef with some other conspiracy YouTuber, and they're both calling each other shills, and different conspiracy theory channels are taking sides. It's the dumbest kind of tea.
Is his purpose as a shill? I mean, it's real simple. See, hacking the headlines and channels like A Plain Truth, they produce videos that have knowledge. They try to educate you about certain topics. What does Russian Vids produce? Well, look at all of his videos. He creates conspiracy, entertainment, distraction videos. I'm going to say it again. Conspiracy, entertainment, distraction videos.
I wouldn't describe his channel like that. RV Truth does the same kind of conspiracy content I see on most of these channels. He says, like, look at this thing. Oh, look, there's an eyeball. It's the Illuminati, or whatever dumb thing they think that week. Poetic Fox says, Hannah, 15 months. Thanks for making these months I watched before subbing. Great. Well, thank you very much for subscribing. Tucker White says, why would Satan put that much work into such a convoluted plan? Isn't her shtick turning us into gay communist furries? I thought so too. It's working on me. At least minus the furry part. Elminato says, so it's the Marvel Civil War of conspiracy theories. Not as fun.
Russian Vids does not make videos that actually help people. He does not make videos that have, like, in-depth knowledge. Talk about cancer cures or, healthy choices. Topics that can actually help people. He does not do that. Just like all those worthless flat earth channels.
Logarth says, except for the furry part for now. Chet wants me to be a furry so bad. It's not going to happen.
What do they all have in common? What does Russian Vids have in common?
Can we get a quick peek of the list of things that are Illuminati to refresh our memory? We haven't gone to that list in a while, so yes. Dr. White says it's probably the lizard person aspect protecting you. Okay, so where is the Freemason stuff? Okay, so every time a conspiracy theorist says some specific symbol is Freemason or Cabal or Illuminati hiding secret messages, we write it down. So as of right now, all the things that the different conspiracy theorists have claimed to be signals from the Cabal are the color orange, the number 33, butterflies, the sun, 5-pointed stars, pyramids, eyes, the color blue and gold, the colors black and white, covering one eye, the rock on hand symbol, when you're like, woo, rock on, crowns, spirals, the moon, quote, magic circles. Why Saturn and 33? Saturn, because I think they think it has something to do with paganism. 33, because they say it's the highest degree of Freemason that you can be. So it's a Freemason thing. Shakespeare is apparently a Freemason. Freemason stairs, which is a little harder to explain without a visual. Diamonds, big cat print clothing. So like if you're wearing like a leopard print or a cheetah print something. Lightning, Saturn, cages, pizza, backwards words, masks, arches, heart symbols, peace signs, red shoes, the number 666, pine cones, tiny cars, and the colors red and blue together. So that's what we have so far. That's what we have. Alphabetize this list, you monster. You do it for me, okay? There isn't an easy way to do that. I'm just putting them in as they go, okay?
With Eric.
Tiny cars. Let me be specific. The tiny cars thing was, what are they called? Tiny parade cars. The Shriners. Okay, so the Shriners? The Shriners are like a men's adult fraternity thing, and they'll often go around, town parades in little tiny cars, and we had a conspiracy theorist once who said that, the tiny cars were symbolic of something, and that the Shriners were in fact satanic, worshipping evil people, and the tiny cars were part of it. Can't argue with that. First name bunch of numbers says, me watching conspiracy theorists angrily accuse each other of shilling. Let them fight.
Let them fight.
Oh my god, another raid. KF Logan 1875. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome, raiders. I'm Hannah. I am a trans leftist streamer. Today we're doing Tinfoil Tuesday, where I cover all sorts of conspiracy theories, often ones that tie into politics. As we know, right-wing politics in this country has gotten very intertwined with conspiracy theories in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So, I think it's fun to go through, debunk them, whether or not it has a direct relation. Hey Logan, how you doing? Hope you had a good stream. A link to KF Logan's channel is in the chat. Check him out.
Dubay and all the other worthless flat earth channels, they make conspiracy entertainment videos that ultimately have little to no value to you. You're being distracted. And a perfect example of that, how many of you remember a couple years ago, Plain Truth had a video about marijuana. It was up to like 350,000 views. What he figured out was when the government starts allowing marijuana to be legalized, you should start questioning the government. And
apparently this guy's very anti-weed.
Then people started investigating.
He thinks it's only fun if it's illegal, I guess.
And realized it was genetically modified marijuana. It is harmful.
Oh my god, no.
It was a fascinating video. And
there's nothing wrong with GMOs, first of all. Second of all, to my knowledge, there is not GMO marijuana that's like, certainly selectively bred strains of marijuana, but like in terms of actually splicing genes and stuff, I don't think that exists for consumers as of right now. Tucker White says, for those raiders out of the loop about Hannah, oh god. I'm actually a lizard person. I don't know if you know this. I'm secretly a VTuber, so this human model. I'm actually a... Whew! I look rough in that video. Jesus.
It was very important knowledge. You see, Russian vids, he does not make those kind of videos.
Salion the Forbidden One says, Shriners require a belief in the Judeo-Christian God tied to the Masons and a hard-to-remember acronym before changing to Shriners International, the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine. Yes, conspiracy theorists will just say, no, they don't. They're lying about being Christian organizations. It's easy to be a conspiracy theorist. You just say stuff.
He makes conspiracy entertainment distraction videos. It's real simple. Anyway.
Night Cosmic Cats, and Logarth says specifically a Triceratops lizard person, thus the horns. True.
I'm not ever going to talk about him. I don't care about him or any of the flat earth channels. I am more into real knowledge videos, something that can actually help me.
You thought Masons just had to believe in a higher power? I think they've changed it to higher power because they want to get more members, because new memberships of things like these adult fraternities, like the Shriners, the Masons, the Lions Club, they're way down, because younger people just aren't as into stuff like that, so they may have changed the rules to be more open.
So,
do I ever cover Lena Moulton Howe? I'm not familiar. Do you have a link?
So for all the real Christians out there and all the real truth seekers, please go to Hacking Headlines channel, go down here, check out this video, and start questioning what time zone, what time frame you are actually living in.
Interesting. Hold on, I'll search this name. Let's see. Lena Moulton Howe. Is it this person? Does the U.S. Space Force have secret vehicles reaching other stars? This is probably it. Linda! That makes sense. Let's see. Like, this is her channel, right? I'm assuming it is. Looks like it. Cool. Lots of long videos. They have little clips, though.
Teenager Evan Breeze, a cattle farm in Tappan, North Dakota, has experienced a series of highly strange events over the past year. First, there was a dead cow that coyotes would not touch. Then 16-year-old teenager Evan Breeze was checking cows ready to calve and encountered a triangle-shaped craft near a dugout water pond. The craft emitted blue beams of light and took off rapidly after Evan's cattle dog ran toward it, barking. Afterward, the family...
The best artistic depictions are always done in crayon or colored pencil, by the way. Nito Benito, thanks for 5 months.
He found an odd pattern cut into the dead cow's hide that had not been there before. Later, the father and other family members watched strange aerial lights move in patterns over the farm on 2 different occasions in July and August 2006. Then, on September 11th, around 1 a.m.,
never forget,
Evan went to check the pig corral with his .22 and encountered non-human entities with sharp-bladed fingers dragging a dead sow. After Evan shot at one...
That's what I don't get. I think, like, I like pork as much as the next person, but I'm, like, fairly certain that aliens don't need livestock. I don't think they do. I feel like there are easier ways to steal livestock, right? Like, you'd think, I don't know, find a factory farm somewhere and abduct something. They probably won't notice 1 chicken missing, 1 pig, whatever.
Creature about 12 feet from him, Evan was grabbed from behind. He collapsed unconscious to the...
Billy's C137. Thanks for 17 months. Says, hope everyone is having a great night. I hope so too.
Ground. When he woke up, the Adidas t-shirt he was wearing had 5 slices in it. There were 2 faint scratches.
1, 2, 3. Couldn't be Freddy Krueger. He only has 4. Wolverine only has 3, I think. So it's neither of those people. It could be New Nightmare Freddy. I think he had a 5th one. Barlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub and kicking off a hype train.
On his chest that did not bleed. After that, a neighbor's buck sheep was found dead with 1 testicle cut neatly without blood from the scrotum sac. And finally, on December 5th, a buck boar on the Breeze farm disappeared.
Is there normally a lot of blood in testicles? I don't mean the scrotum, I mean the testicles themselves, because people eat like Rocky Mountain oysters. Bull testicles. I was kind of in the impression the inside of the testicles themselves weren't really super bloody. I don't know.
Where has all this happened? About 60 miles straight east of Bismarck, North Dakota. It's the small farming community of Tappan in Kidder County. From a USGS Terra Server satellite, Tappan's farmland looks like a child's game board.
We're at 100% to level 1, so it's just teetering.
Because crops are planted in circles to make sprinkler irrigation easier. There have been many unusual animal deaths and disappearances in the region. Not far to the northeast is the Chase Lake National Wildlife Refuge, where 29,000 American white pelicans disappeared in May of 2004. The next spring, in 2005, 8,000 white pelican baby chicks mysteriously died. Further south of Chase Lake is the Wrestler Waterfowl Protection Area. For 6 straight years, between 1999 to 2004, thousands of gulls and cormorants mysteriously died at Wrestler Lake.
I am concerned about the pelicans. I'll go through her stuff and find some good stuff. That is interesting, but it's a little slow for the pace of the show, so I'll have to go through and find some clips. Level 1 complete. Sweet. 28% to level 2. What else do we have? Let's find out how big giants were. It's time for some Mud Fossil University. This is a gentleman who believes that the Earth used to be full of giants and that he has disproved virtually every field of science imaginable.
Okay, my friends, Roger once again with a shocker du jour. Now, what is the shocker du jour? Well, it's from a friend of mine called Lisa Smith Rosenfeld. And she sent me this about the sleeping dragon eye, which is Vermilion State Park. And what they have is this. And you see all this structure around, they're talking about how it was formed and eroded over time and so forth. Well, that's not the case. The case is this is stomach tissue. And here it is right here. That is stomach tissue.
You can tell because of the way it is. Have you guys seen that?
this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
This, my friends, literally is leaky gut. This is leaky gut. This is
After Act, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and getting us over another level of the hype train. Leaky gut. So leaky gut syndrome is a commonly touted medical problem basically invented by alt health whack jobs. Jelly Juice Lady, I think, talked about this. No, actually, she doesn't, I think, believe in... No, wait, does she believe in leaky gut? I know she believes in candida. Either way, leaky gut syndrome is a fake thing that a bunch of alt health people basically claim causes all health problems. They think all health problems are caused by your gut, including like cancer and asthma and anything. It's very strange. So he's combining his weird geological, biological conspiracy theories with medical conspiracy theories. Stone Corbell, thank you for gifting a sub. 81% to level 3.
This is not supposed to be red and open and all the blood gushing out of it like this.
It's not blood. That's just oxidized.
It's supposed to be completely covered like this, as your stomach should be. However, if you get stomach ulcers and things like that, that's exactly what you will have. Okay, this is a scanning electron microscope showing stomach lining. All right.
He's doing Pareidolia, and I don't even think it's particularly good. I don't think they look that similar, if I'm being honest. MW1642. This is a common conspiracy trope, and that is, if things look similar, that means they are inherently connected in some way. This is not only true visually, but how do I put this? Linguistically. You see this a lot when conspiracy theorists effectively do word association and try and use word association in order to cement arguments. So, like, for instance, we've seen conspiracy theorists say, oh, school is trying to brainwash kids. They're casting spells on you. They teach you to spell because spelling is part of these wizards, these mathematicians or mathemagicians. They basically do these words sound alike, so this is evidence to me. This is effectively the same phenomenon, but on a visual level, where they're just connecting things vaguely in their brain, and they think that that's enough to justify not only a comparison of similarity, but a comparison of causality. It's very strange. Carnivorous Stickbug, thanks for gifting a sub.
This is a good, healthy stomach. No lesions, no leaky gut. There's
30% to level 4. Gnome Pickles says, curse our pattern-seeking brains. It was the thing that allowed our species to develop technology and science, but I think it may have been taken too far. It is what it is. I mean, we wouldn't have survived as we have as a species without our pattern recognition, but like anything, unfortunately, it can be over-tuned, and people get really focused in on things. Gnome Pickles, thanks for gifting a sub. 52% to level 4.
a guy standing at Vermilion Cliffs, and this is what the stomach looks like, only it has no lesions.
Oh, I agree, it's a cool rock formation. It's just not the corpse of a giant, like he thinks.
Okay, like I said, I've been studying this for a long time. This did not erode this way and just collect. This is the structure of the tissue, and it actually created a hole through the wall of the stomach, it appears to me. This could be a natural part of biology that is supposed to be there, but I don't think so. I think this is what they call a lesion, where you have leaky gut, and then you're sick. And all of this shouldn't be read like this is cut open. That you're not supposed to see underneath this tissue. This tissue is the layer that protects you. It's the membrane that protects you from invasion. This thing here got invaded. Simple as that. All right, if you're really interested in finding out what our planet is really made of, this is new research into the origins of our planet Earth. You should watch that. Watch Explain This if you can handle it. Why so many stories about giants if they were not real?
Why so many stories about unicorns if they're not real? Why so many stories about leprechauns if they're not real? Why so many stories about Spider-Man if he's not real?
All of this stuff is factual now. It's time.
He's advertising his own channel. Correct.
To
52% to level 4 with a minute and a half left.
discuss this in the truth and the reality that it really is, instead of hiding and running and hiding yourself in a closet somewhere. This is reality. This is not just a joke. Now I'm going to show you something. Hollywood is understanding all this stuff is real. Now watch this. This is called Troll Teaser 2022. It's going to be coming out. They said that they will come back to life. I can't see how that's going to happen, but I couldn't see any of this being real in the first place, so who knows? I have small ones here. This is about 150 feet tall. This guy would be. This is almost 3 feet long. It's a fingertip. There's the fingernail. There's the little pad that bumps up to the next bone. This is just the very tip of the finger.
We are doing bingo, yes. All right, enough of him. What else do we have? How long is that? That's over an hour long. We do not have time for that today. Bittergrin, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and getting us over level 4 of the hype train. Much appreciated.
With the red horse. I'm going to keep...
This is Russian Vids, the guy that we talked about earlier who's in some kind of beef with other conspiracy theorists.
With the red horse. I'm going to keep...
Hold on, I think I have to boost the volume on this a little bit.
Showing this because this is what's happening now. This is so very relevant. And again, the 4 horsemen in this chronological order in the Bible, the white for, again, conquest, red for war, which is supposedly happening now. And this is huge. This is the next one. And this is the black horse. And this is for famine.
Yeah, I'm sure when they wrote about the horsemen of the apocalypse, I'm sure what they meant was, you know, logos on polo shirts and hats. That's what I pictured. Bittergrin said, "Hey now, Spider-Man is real. I've seen him with my own 2 eyes at California Adventure." I stand corrected, clearly.
And the pale horse is for death. So, again, the relevance, you know, we're laying the cards out. We're seeing everything that's happening. And let me just make sure I have everything lined up properly here before I move forward. So again, biblically, conquest, war, famine, and death. Now, this just came out. Look at this. The planned food shortage. All right, let's play this clip. I played this last time, but this is what we're all wondering about after the bogus trip into so-called space with Jeff Bezos and the rest of the goons, which we know is a lie. But take a listen here to William Shatner, a longtime sellout, says...
You thought it was pestilence, not conquest? I thought so, too. I thought it was like war, famine, pestilence, and death, I think. Will I Am Not Okay, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community and getting us over level 5, 133%. Thank you so much, chat.
Here, after the conclusion of the PSYOP was supposedly going into space.
It had everything. We're so happy that you're here.
Back.
And
It had
feels
everything.
Good. Yeah.
And the realization once again, the fragility of this planet, coming catastrophic event, and we all have to clean this act up now.
Well said.
He's talking about climate change. He's talking about the environment and climate change.
Catastrophic event. He just said it.
Correct.
And this is predictive programming.
Oh, that looks really good. Nice. Is this dry? Mm-hmm. Oh, that looks great. Nice.
And he's told us that I'm pretty sure he has no idea. He's reading off a script with the catastrophic event.
I don't think he's reading off a script. No. Huh?
Orion.
Mm-hmm.
Little Dipper. Big Dipper. Leo.
Looks very nice.
We'll play that one last time. I think this is huge. So with one hoax, one PSYOP.
PSYOP on the bingo card.
They're telling us about the next one. And they've done this many times before, warning us. Not warning us, but it's predictive programming and showing their cards in advance.
Don't hit it too hard, and if they don't go off, something terrible will happen, and they do go off, and that's startling. The whole thing was indescribable. So all this rehearsal we did, training they call.
He says rehearsal, training. So so what he did was
yeah, you need to prepare to go into space. Yep.
Rehearsal like a movie, and that's exactly, he just let the cat out of the bag, and him being an actor, I'm sure it's on purpose, just mockery. And also,
he is an actor, not a great one, but like, I love me some Captain Kirk. I've heard he's an asshole, though.
Obviously, this is...
Rehearsal is a very common word. For instance, has he ever been to a wedding? Rehearsals for the, wedding party are a thing.
You know, looks pretty,
Rehearsal is used more than just within the context of acting, although it doesn't surprise me that William Shatner would use that word, because again, he is an actor by trade.
Looks like sorcery or some type of...
Are you sure about that?
He tries.
That's the problem.
Are you telling me that you have a problem with Captain James T. Kirk?
Witchcraft happening here in the background with this illuminated...
Risk, gentlemen, risk is our business.
Diamond in the back.
It's why we're aboard her.
I call it rehearsal. You're in and out of those chairs using muscles, and in this case, 90-year-old muscles.
Views with 45 bits says apparently both conquest and war are horsemen along with pestilence and death, at least according to Wikipedia. Okay.
That are unaccustomed. I am stiff and sore, and I ache. And
well, I mean, what a thrilling 10 minutes. It had everything. We're so happy that you're here.
Back.
It
And
had
feels
everything.
Good. Yeah.
And the realization, once again, the fragility of this planet, the coming catastrophic event.
The coming catastrophic event, and that's what we're really...
He's talking about climate change. This isn't hard to decipher.
And let's get back here to, what we're showing. Let me remove this and get back to this. And this is,
His Kirk delivery was to show that Kirk was talking off the cuff. Guys, I like Captain Kirk. I like his performance as Captain Kirk. It's easy to meme on, but I genuinely really like him as Captain Kirk. I'm not saying he's bad.
I don't have the exact date, but it's been in May this month with this from The Economist. And definitely they're planning this food shortage. We've been talking about this
They're not planning it. They're just looking at the writing on the wall in terms of climate change and how it's going to affect crops over the next decades. Tucker White says the coming catastrophe event, emphasis on coming, send tweet.
Some might mock when Richie from Boston says, hey, stock up in food. And he has links to selling his product, and people laugh, but biblically, they mock Noah. They mock the truth, and I never laugh at that stuff. Of course, there are people out there like Jimmy Baker, Jimmy Swagger. They're taking advantage of people. Been doing it for many years, but nonetheless, to be perfectly blunt, obviously this is going to be meant to happen, basically staged to happen, and they're going to pull off a fake food shortage, just like they had a fake toilet paper shortage as well.
Keep us asleep.
The toilet paper shortage wasn't fake. That was people freaking out and buying up all the toilet paper. What? Nick says, yes, we rightly mock charlatans who spread fear and discord to shill their shit. True. All right, let's see who we're going to raid. But first, since we didn't have a bingo winner today...
It's already raid time? How long have you been?
3 hours.
Wow.
I know, it went by really quick today. The Peter video took up like an hour, surprisingly. So, let's gift a random sub since no one won bingo. Do-do-do-do-do-do, gift a sub. Do-do-do-do-do, gift a sub. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, who's gonna get the sub? Tucker White says, wait, who mocked Noah? I don't recall that happening during the 220 years it took to build the ark. Yeah, that's not a biblical thing. Glycolic Moment. You win the random gift sub of the day. So there you go. Cool. Thanks, everyone, for coming and hanging out. If you are from either of the raids, I appreciate you sticking around, even if you're just off somewhere else doing dishes or something and you didn't have time to come and change the video. Hope you enjoyed what you heard. Give me a follow if you liked what you saw. I do all sorts of stuff, so come hang out sometime. It's always a lot of fun, and chat's always super supportive and wonderful and all that good stuff. So let's see who the raid is going to be. Da-na-na, da-na-na, bum, 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 ba-na-na. It's $27. Oh, also I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/HannahReloaded. Check it out. Cool. Have a good night, everyone. I will see y'all on the flippity flop. Tomorrow is the flippity flop.